Hello, everybody, and welcome to the RP Geeks Play Blood and Fog, a Blades in the Dark story. Hello, we're the RP Geeks. It's nice to see you. I'm Emily. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm one of the RP Geeks. And so is Shamini.
I am. I also use she, her pronouns, and I'm also a geek usually, but today I'm I was going to say rogue, not a rogue. Not a lurch.
A rogue.
No, hang on. What are you? What are you,
I'm
such
a lurk.
Great.
That's
Not a
good.
scoundrel.
And a scoundrel.
Scoundrel.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm a whisper. That's what my one's called.
Very good.
Lou, hello.
Hello. Hi. I'm Lou. I use they, she pronouns, and I am a leech. That's what I am, right? Yes, good. I had also this planned of like what I was going to say about my character, and I was like, I just forgot my class completely. And I will be with you for your entertainment and pleasure this evening. The questionably good Dr. Arison Penderin.
Just the best boy. Cuff. Not Cuff, your real name, Holly.
Me!
Wow.
I was so in it then, I was like, yeah, that is me. That is me.
That's me.
I am Cuff. Where does Holly end and Cuff begin? I don't know. Hello, I'm Holly. I use she, they pronouns, and I'm playing Cuff, the cutter. And today I actually described Shamini's character to a friend of mine as like a rogue, but probably a bit clumsy and walks into things. A very, very fun character is what I said. I was like, yeah, Shami's playing this like rogue, but he seems very clumsy and walks into things.
Failed so far to sneak at all. I tried sneaking. Someone saw me. I was like, sorry, bye. And I went to some toilets instead. That's the extent of my sneaking.
And finally, our Fate Weaver for this story, Fiona.
Weaving the fates as we talk. Ooh. Hello everyone, my name is Fiona, I use she, her pronouns, and I don't have a playbook, I'm just Fate Weaver. Fate Weaver from before, present, and now. Wow. Well, present and now, present and future, that's the word I was meaning. But yeah, excited to be back after a little holiday. I feel refreshed, after murdering people last week, or being accused of murder last week, from Blood on the Clock Tower. And
who did the actual murder? We'll never know.
Someone
It couldn't
actually.
possibly be
no.
anyone else
Will
on this
we?
call.
No, absolutely not.
Spoilers if you haven't seen that episode yet.
Oh god, there was a point halfway through the game where I was like, 1 minute, Fiona is GMing Blaze in the Dark. Fuck.
Should I stop framing her for my murders? Yeah.
Well, I'm
we
so
won't give
sorry
away
I
any-
liked that last episode today. It's, I'm sad. I don't know about anyone else.
Fiona, you
I
could
like-
come up a little bit
I-
volume-wise.
Okay, cool.
I like that in last week's game I nominated Holly twice just as something to do, and nobody bit either time.
Nope.
I actually don't think we talked all game, Lou, because I think I was, for some reason, I got in my head that I was like, Lou's going to have a read on me. I don't know why. I was like, Lou's going to see through everything. I had this thing, and I was like, just avoid Lou. Lou's going to know. That was why.
I mean, I had no read on anybody, so, like, maybe you'd have been fine, but, and you were, so it's fine. Let's play Blades in the Dark.
Let's play Blades in the Dark rather than talk about a Clock Tower game, which you can watch on our YouTube channel. If you're watching here live right now, hello, we're on our YouTube channel. You should click that subscribe button if you're here. That would be nice. We'd be really happy if you did. We're like approaching 2,000 people subscribed.
Ooh.
So I would love to hit that at some point this year. That would be nice. So if you are here and you haven't clicked it, could you click it for me? It doesn't cost you anything. It's just a little button you press. Thanks.
And if you want to talk about Clock Tower not in the middle of a Blaze in the Dark stream, you can. There's now a new channel for it on the RP Geeks Discord.
There is. I made a new channel on the Discord. We'll talk about the Discord more because I've done another thing on the Discord, which I will talk about later. But that's a secret channel. Anyway, shall we get into the game? Fiona,
Okay.
take it away.
I will. All right. So greetings, scoundrels from across the Imperium and beyond the Void Sea, and welcome to this, our 4th session of Blood and Fog, the RP Geeks Blade in the Dark series. Now, as always, I always talk about this at the top of the session. There are 2 things I would like people to know. The first one is the big one. So whilst we are playing Blades in the Dark, we're actually going to be using deep cuts. Notably, as of maybe 7 days ago, Deep Cuts version 1.1, which thank God I looked it up, because otherwise I would have been silly. It's a supplement, basically, that just improves and streamlines the dice mechanics for what you see in the game, including replacing the action roll with the threat roll. I'm going to be explaining the mechanics as we go along, but I want to mention them here just in case you're wondering why we're doing certain things that isn't necessarily in line with the traditional Blades in the Dark series. They're supposed to make it a bit more streamlined and also gets us to the action, which is perfect for us who are brand new players and also for you guys who are watching along at home. So do bear with us if we need to clarify or check some rules as we're still learning. The second thing is that Blades in the Dark itself, a game by John Harper, is a game of, daring scoundrels building a criminal enterprise on the haunted streets of an industrial fantasy city. There's going to be heists, chases, dangerous bargains, bloody skirmishes, deceptions, betrayals, deaths, etc. We're going to play to find out how this fledgling crew, the Harriers, can thrive amidst the teeming threats of rival gangs and powerful noble families, vengeful ghosts, the Bluecoats of the City Watch, and a siren song of their own vices. So, Duskvol is a very grim and very cruel place set in perpetual darkness, which might feel quite similar to our own right now. It is a haunted Victorian-era city trapped inside a wall of lightning, which is powered by demon blood. So, I'm giving you, the Lurks, the Leeches, the Lurchers, our new favourite class out there, permission to take a break from watching our story should you need to. As I always say, you are more important than the dice rolls on the table or the devil's bargains we make to each other. So, Harriers, are we ready to dive back in to this?
Not when you say it like that. No. Not when you're like, oh, what have you done, you silly, silly sausages.
No, I'm not angry.
Nothing
I'm
right.
just disappointed. No, not at all. Not at all. Let's start, as we always do, with the opening ritual of our opening titles. I know I explain this every time, but just in case you're new here, we're going to start by imagining the opening titles to our story a bit like a vintage TV show. It's going to be a montage sequence of various characters, places, and important moments to our story. Each player, we're going to start again as usual, Emily, then Lou, then Shamini, then Holly, just are going to take turns with a brief scene, almost like a single camera shot, where we see their scoundrel in a certain moment, something that they would be typically seen doing, whether it's a part of the heist that they're currently on, or just a part of their sort of backstory. As the GM, I'm going to take a turn after each of these players have gone and describe a moment of the wider world of Duskvol. That's a bit of a contrast between them. My moments are going to be stuff about a local district or a glimpse of a faction or anything else in between. So, I will start off before I hand over to Emily. The mist and the fog swirls around the screen, and suddenly out of the screen, a huge, horrific fish starts, lots of teeth, mangled, and 3 different eyes as it sort of swims towards the camera, almost that horrific 3D effect as the camera sort of switches and turns over and comes out of the river itself. We see along the canal people are fishing for these fishes, people jostling spaces trying to get the best prize, knowing that a fish is going to what they want here for dinner. As the sky overhead, the darkness starts to ascend as fishing season comes to a close. We see different sort of buckets of maggots and fish feed and stuff, just as people are desperately wrestling to try and get the biggest catch. These horrific fish with different eyes, possibly eldritch in being, but good for a good supper on a Friday night. I'll pass it over to Emily. Where do we see your character?
As we go into the tattoo parlour, you see the doll standing next to Cuff, talking to an inspector, and with Belle in front of them. And as the inspector turns towards Belle, the doll backs away slightly and reaches into their pocket and pulls out a tiny bead and throws it on the ground as smoke just erupts everywhere in the tattoo parlour.
The smoke sort of fills spaces, and we see people coughing their sort of silhouettes against both the sort of the plastic wraps indicating the different cubicles, but also of the windows of this establishment as well. And it's sort of, again, the camera sort of swishes and turns, and we come to a street lined with those sort of long strings for laundry. You see women sort of batting out rugs. We see different sort of like bed sheets. We see a whole range of sort of undergarments, bras, knickers, jock straps as well, just hanging from a bed as kids are playing football, hitting the ball in between. So you hear the cries of people going, "No, my laundry!" as the football sort of turns and hits, and you see the mud spatter. Again, that sort of horrific moment where it's almost jarring, and you sort of see cuts between that and maybe a couple of murders that we've seen from the nights before of blood being spattered, but instead it is mud instead. Handing it over to Lou.
We see the front of the sidearm public house, and go in through the door. Then the immediate wall of noise as you enter that is from a busy public house, until it stops on the figure of Arison sat alone at the table that they have recently been left at. The colour on of their neck has reached their ears, and you can see that they are seething. They are embarrassed, and they are cross, so very cross, and they put their hands down on the table, violently push out their chair, and just move in a beeline through the door, knocking aside any serving person or anyone, just going to the bar. The drinks have been knocked over, chairs have been knocked over. They don't care. They are out, and they slam the door behind them.
As they go through the door and the door slams, the camera keeps on moving through, and throughout the other side, it's almost like a beaded curtain as an individual rushes in, hurriedly realizing that they are late. As they sit down at a table, you see the table itself is covered with a cloth with lots of different intricate patterns. As the sort of camera readjusts itself with the different sort of candlelight, we see that we're inside the Dimmer Sisters' house, the sort of headquarters of these very interesting occult sisters in quotation marks. You see one at the head of the table in a long big veil, holding hands with the other, sort of talking and chanting, and suddenly her eyes flish back as she is then possessed, talking with a ghost. And you see around the sort of the place itself all these different bottles, very similar to the one the dolls use, these sort of spirit bane bottles, sort of shimmering and chatting with all those lids up and down as the force of the spirit is being contained and being sapped to keep in place. Shamini, where do we find your character?
Dark basement racks of dusty wine and a somewhat bedraggled figure with strange black eyes. And you see where, looking actually genuinely caring for once, which I'm not sure is something we've seen so far, but helping her up carefully, looking sort of concerned. And just that moment where he looks behind her and there's this glow and there's this door and confusion, and then they both turn away and start making their way out.
As you turn, the camera sort of turns again, and we see ourselves going back to that sort of glow, and suddenly the glow turns into a huge sort of flame, the fire sort of spitting up as a door shuts, and we see a little glass window as somebody looks in with a mask. We peer out, and we see that we are in a crematorium as such, and as the spirit wardens are sort of by performing the final rites over a body that they have found, hoping their best to keep the sort of spirits at bay outside of Duskvol itself. You can see the gloved hands holding different scripts and textures, one holding a particular bell that has various sort of sigils on it. This sort of quiet contemplation as the roaring of the fire is sort of quelled by this metal door. And we can see it in the eyes, a sort of flame, seeing a body being burnt. Holly, where do we find Cuff in this sequence?
At that point, the camera moves to outside and zooms down a network of streets to where it catches up with the doll and Cuff. Cuff a few meters behind, coughing out the smoke and kind of smearing some of that black makeup that they wear across their eyes, kind of coming through it out of tears. And you see them kind of crick their shoulder as they realise that they didn't quite get out of that entirely unscathed, as they reach back to pull a tattooist's needle, which is stuck in the back of their shoulder blade, out, pocket it, kind of try and dust it off, and continue down the street.
There's maybe a moment as you're sort of running down the street with the doll, you see the unfinished tattoo that you have on your own arm as part of your disguise. I don't know what it was, but it was just something in this thing. I like to think it's just something completely banal now, but it's just sort of scritched off a little bit as you try to get up and start this fight. We then move to our final sort of little bit of the montage. We go down again back into the water. We come up to almost what looks like a farm, these radiant energy farms, because light in Duskvol is non-existent since the cataclysm. We have huge, big, like sort of electronic lights, but also these crops that sort of glow and glisten. And underneath, actual sort of edible crops, carrots, potatoes and stuff are growing underneath, but with these sort of toxic, almost like electroplasmic enforced feeding tubes to increase the growth. There are guards nearby to stop people from, let's say, maybe tasting some of these forbidden fruits. People are picking them away. And as we go from pickers picking out strawberries, taking apples off trees, we sort of go through another window, up into the sky again as we go round, and we see these four individuals making their way back to the Harriers from the different streets. We sort of pan around, we go up again into the sky, and the fog over Duskvol settles once more. And the main titles fade into view in red and grey font over this particular picture. And it says, Blood and Fog, A Blaze in the Dark Story. Chapter 4, Dead Man's Switch.
Those are always fine.
That's my favourite bit of every week. It's my favourite bit. When Fiona says what the subtitle is.
I'll frantically scribble it so I remember for the YouTube later.
Put it back on later. Okay. So, let's see. It is 17 minutes past the hour of thread on the 20th day of Ulsavet. 3 days since the start of the Harriers' current assignment. A lot can happen in 3 days in our haunted city. It feels like a long time, and yet no time at all. It's an interesting concept, isn't it? time. So fluid. Time has no voice, and yet it tells stories, records events. Time has no body, but it can shape lives, influences everything and, well, everyone. Time can be wasted, but it can't be lent or returned. Are our harriers running on this borrowed time? Let's run down the state of play as we left it, shall we? So, in an effort to reduce the harriers' wanted level from their previous heist, Ware had been serving time at the Immortal Emperor's pleasure in the notorious Iron Hook prison in the Dunslow district. Now, late one night during his stay, Ware had a surprise ghostly visitor to his cell. One Roderick, the former leader of the Crows, which is a group of scoundrels who run illegal games of chance and extortion rackets in various districts. It was Roderick who had originally brokered the peace between the Lampblacks and the Red Sashes gangs, and had maintained the status quo in Crow's Foot. Well, that was until he was murdered about a month ago. Roderick's ghost is now requesting the Harriers' help. Find the person responsible for his murder and bring them to justice in whatever way the Harriers saw fit, so that he could finally rest. Roderick suspected that one of his second-in-commands, Lissa and Bell, or Bell, might have had something to do with his disappearance, but had no proof and had a hazy memory of the time he passed away. As well as having the peace restored between the factions at Crowsfoot, if they took on this mission, Roderick also promised a financial incentive for solving his murder. A share of his old coin retirement stash to smooth over any costs or any issues. The catch, though. Roderick insisted that he would accompany the Harriers to make sure they followed through, and is currently in possession of, Ware's body. It's micromanaging, but on a scoundrel scale, you see. Meanwhile, the other members of the Harriers, so the Good Doctor, the Doll, and Cuff, had been hearing strange reports of residents disappearing, vanishing across almost every city district. Reports which had been written in the rags and the gazettes of the ink rates indicated that there had been no common connection between those going missing in terms of age or gender, class or rank, or even time of day, type of activity that they were doing, or who they were with. It was as if they were there 1 minute and then gone the next. Back at the prison, Ware received news that he was getting an early release, thanks to his bail finally being posted. On the outside, he was met by a former colleague and friend, Petra, who revealed that it was none other than Lord Skurlock, Ware's former employer, who had made the payment. Petra confided in Ware about her concerns of visitors also vanishing at Skurlock Manor, arriving to meet with her master and then seemingly disappearing without their hats and gloves and scarves and coats of all things. Petra also mentioned that Lord Skurlock expected Ware to repay his kindness and to call upon the manor house at Ware's earliest convenience. Reunited once more, the Harriers set out on their new mission of solving Roderick's murder, and to be fair to them, they have discovered a couple of things. The Doll has attuned to the ghost field to see if she could discover what took place the night of Roderick's murder, and discovered that he had been attacked whilst walking back to Crow's Foot on the connecting bridge from Silkshore by two individuals wearing green cloaks with the symbol of the Crows, and were also wearing animal masks, one a fox and one a rabbit with no ears, so no big bunny ears. The two suspects had hooked Roderick and put a hood over him, stabbed him with a dagger in the neck, and thrown his body off the bridge into the water. Neither mask or cloak or dagger had been found at the scene of the crime. The Doctor's contact, body snatcher Eckhard, said that no bodies had been taken from the rivers and the waterways recently, as there had been an increased number of spirit warden patrols around the water's edge, making such dredging being dangerous, so to speak. And after a pub crawl, Ware/Roderick gathered intel on 2 prime Crow locations, where a confrontation with one or both Lissa and Bell could happen. We have the Sidearm Public House, which is like a multi-level restaurant/pub, which acts as a front for the headquarters of the Crows, or the Thick Wrist Patterns, which you should try saying that 3 times fast, a underground tattoo parlor where Bell was a regular customer. Right now, it is 17 minutes past the hour of Fred. Sorry, my notes mixed up there. Right now, it is 17 minutes past the hour of Fred on the 20th day of Ulcevet. 3 days since the Harriers took on Roderick's request to solve his murder and bring his perpetrators to justice. The scoundrels have been split over 2 locations. The doll and cuff at the Thick Wrist Patterns in the middle of a fight with Bell and the other tattooist after the doll's questions regarding Lissa and Roderick came under suspicion. What was made clear to the doll was, before the conversation took a violent turn, that there had been some sort of falling out between Bell and Lissa. The doctor had made an appointment to make some deals and introductions with Lissa, who is currently acting as the leader of the Crows. And despite some unpleasant business of poisoning and all that sort of thing, it seems that Lissa is under the impression that the Harriers have Roderick's body and wants it back. And, well, where was Ware in all of this? Well, after being thwarted going into Roderick's office by one guard, I will say one guard, Ware considered his next option before hearing crying coming from the basement of the Sidearm. Presumably because Ware has not seen any horror films at this point, he decided to boldly venture down into the wine cellar by himself and witness an odd sight. Lydra, the crew's missing deal broker, was found sprawled on the floor in front of a door which was in the middle of the room. And as Ware picked up Lydra, she mumbled and repeated several phrases, including the one, "Watson, come here, I need you," with her eyes as dark and black as the void sea itself. So, we're gonna go back to the Harriers' hideout. It has been a couple of hours since the events of last session have happened. You've all made it back to the Harriers' hideout. What I would say, as Cuff has very kindly mentioned in their opening montage, is that yes, because of some rolls we did last time, which I didn't account for, you will have currently a level 2 harm of stabbed in the shoulder. So make a note of that from Cuffed.
Stabbed in the shoulder.
And you've patched it up the best you can. Obviously, you're going to have a proper look. Obviously, the doctor look at it some point, but now is not the time, as you are still in the middle of this heist. My big question, before we sort of get back into the discussing, and I would say you've all recounted your details about, you all know what happened, and if there's something that you do not wish to share, say that obviously before you start talking. But the real question I want to know is, where have you brought Lydra back to the hideout with you?
Yeah, I think like later than everyone else, by the time we get there, I've been sort of helping Lydra along, and having not seen the doctor in the restaurant area, comes sort of bursting back down into the library, sort of go, Doc! But there is, I think, a moment seeing Arison's face and general colour, which just like makes Ware just like freeze slightly, like before they sort of try and get the good doctor to have a look at Lydra, because something's going on with her eyes and she's real cold, and this is not my wheelhouse.
I would say Lydra is a little bit older than you were, so you've actually found it quite easy to navigate back to the hideout, because it just looks like a son helping an old mum go home, and, keeping her warm. She's a little bit hunched over and stuff. What you will have noticed as you got back to the hideout, as soon as you cross the sort of threshold and the light comes on, is that yes, whilst her eyes are still fully black and void, she has stopped crying, stopped shivering, and most importantly, stopped talking.
I really thought you were going to say stopped breathing there, and I was like...
Yeah, is she cold still? to touch.
She does feel like ice, like really cold, and like the clothes itself, they're not like wet or sodden or anything like that. They're just like roughed up and cold. And maybe you put her in a chair by the fire. She's almost like again, not a doll per se, because we've got one there, but like literally very gently, she is sort of malleable and stuff like that. She just sits down and just does not focus on anything. It's very hard to, when you look at her, you can't really tell what she's looking at because the eyes are so black. You can't see them move without her whole face sort of moving.
I'm gonna look at those
Look at her eyes. Okay.
eyes. Yeah, I mean, I'll look at her kind of all over, but yeah, the eyes are particularly something to focus on. I reckon.
Yes, sorry, I'm just trying to think. Just checking with the other folks that are coming in as well. So I think because Cuff and the doll, you're coming in as well. So I'll let you, obviously we'll discuss about the person itself, but I just want to check with you guys, is there anything you would like to do?
I think as I'm coming in, I'm going to want to beeline straight to the doctor because I know that this needs seeing to. But if I see that Lydra's there, I probably would freeze in my tracks. So I'd be like, Doc, I need you to... Is that Lydra? Lydra?
Hugh, I'm going to have to start taking office hours and giving people appointment times. Yes, this is Lydra. There is something wrong with her eyes. I feel it is prudent. What have you done?
I've got... It doesn't matter.
I've also got... And the doll points to where she's been slashed with a tattoo needle as well. So just, yes. Apologies.
I'm fine,
Take a
though.
ticket.
I'm great. I'm good.
Did you find her where? Did you
Yeah.
bring her in?
She is effed up. It's like she was just sat on the floor crying in front of a door in a cellar, like
A door?
like
Right.
a
Sorry, a cellar.
like a wine cellar. Yeah, like a wine cellar with wine and a door that didn't go anywhere, and she was just
I'm very
there.
confused
What
about
do you
why you
mean?
were in a cellar when you were supposed to be poking around in the rooms upstairs of the tavern.
Oh, on my there was a hitch. I haven't I'll get on that like soon, but there was a I was going to go via the cellar.
And so you went to search the rooms upstairs afterwards, I assume.
I thought it best to bring her back to see you, Doctor. But I could go now. If you think that's smart, you know the smart plans.
No, I think we should wait. We ran into trouble too. I think it's going to be more difficult than certainly I originally thought. I think it's best if we, fully regroup, replan, maybe go about this a bit more systematically.
Belle and Lissa are not on the same side, I don't think.
Lissa is a snake.
I'm not a big fan of Belle right now either, to be honest.
Wonderful. Let's dispatch both of them. It's likely to have been one of them. Rorik wants his murderer dealt with. It seems like the world wouldn't be missing either of them.
Are you happy to just murder at least maybe one innocent person? What if one of them...
I said dispatch, not murder, but if you want to fill in those blanks, I know my conversation I had was apparently, because no information was gleaned upstairs, a waste of time and energy that could have been spent elsewhere. However, there is obviously and clearly something going on with Lissa, and she needs to be dealt with sooner rather than later.
I don't know how
What
I'd feel
did you
about...
find out at the parlour?
Well, not a whole lot actually.
Wonderful.
I didn't really find out anything.
I had a conversation with Belle.
Great.
They didn't
Hold on.
take to it very well. And sort of gestures again to the injuries on the doll and Cuff. They assumed I was working for Lissa and lunged at me.
A lot of assumptions going on with both of them.
Indeed.
Lissa assumed we had Rorik's body.
Why would she think that?
At the mention of
But I let her think we did.
Rorik,
Oh no.
where you realise, for maybe you were just confused or something like that, you haven't heard Rorik's voice for quite a while now in your body.
I'm just gonna like step backwards between some shelves of books, just like out of line of sight of this very angry doctor, and just be like, "You in there, mate? You in there, Roderick?"
No response.
Well, what are you doing?
Hi, sorry, just trying to talk to that chap in my brain.
Is he not responding?
Can't find him.
Can I look down at Lydra?
Mm-hmm.
And go, Roderick, now.
The head sort of moves up and goes, Watcher.
The doll will immediately walk
using
over
it.
and pick up the spirit jar and go, this is for you if you don't start behaving yourself.
Now, I thought it'd be easier if I was just in here. She seemed really scared, so I just thought I'd come in here for a bit. She didn't mind. She didn't mind. And the way now she's acting and stuff, like, again, it feels very much like a big man in a smaller woman's body.
Is she still in there?
Yeah.
Can you feel her?
Yeah.
What's she like? She feel okay?
Hang on. Oh, bit sad. Let me shut that door for now.
After I'd examined her, I was going to suggest as a prescription somewhat, a bit of light possession.
Yeah, well, following doctor's orders there.
Why is she sad?
Oh, I don't know. It's lots of wailing, incomprehensible stuff. I've kind of blocked it out, to be honest with you. It was a bit sad. And I'm here to find out who killed me. But it's all right, this. And he sort of kicks her legs a little bit. Like, again, they're quite stumpy legs. And she's like, yeah, it's all right. You know, a bit knackered in the knees, but...
Are her eyes still black?
They're still black.
Why are her eyes black?
I don't know.
Do I know
What
anything
can you
about
see?
that? Because mine are very black.
Yours are very black. So this is where I'm going to say, for both the doctor, this is where we're going to look at stuff now. And I think with the help from the doll as well, let's go for... it sounds like... Yeah, describe to me, doctor, are you going to do for like a full-on medical sort of like examination? Like, describe to me what you're doing and I'll make sure that the action...
Yeah, I mean, you've got the equivalent of one of those things where you kind of look in someone's eyes, apart from they're clearly electric and that sort of whatever else, but have so I don't know if the equivalent is like striking a match and trying to look sort of
you would have
lightness in
tools
her
of some
eyes.
sort that would do something similar to that. Yeah, I don't think that's
Also
an issue.
testing reactions, sort of various things, pinching fingers, sort of seeing how reactive she is to different stimuli.
This sounds to me like a study role for me. Because you're scrutinizing details, you're trying to interpret, like, see what she's looking like.
Okay.
What have you got in study?
I have 2 in study.
It's 2 in study. And I think as well, the doll is sort of like you're trying to think of knowledge. I'm going to make you do a roll as well, and we'll combine sort of the results on that.
I'm sort of looking to try and compare whether it's similar to what I'm used to in like from Tykuros, and see if it's like a demonic thing. That's more what I'm trying to look at.
Understandable. I think this is more of a survey for you. You're trying to observe things and like try and take in stuff. It's not necessarily medical per se, and you're not actually going and sort of indicating. So both of you make those rolls for me, please.
I have no dots, so I roll 2 and take the lower one. Yep.
Take the lower one. And I'd say as well, it's still a risky standard, but it's going to be very reduced. Nothing bad is going to happen necessarily. It's just going to have less consequences. So that's the thing. If you get a bad result on this, you're not going to get as much information. It's not a controlled situation, but it's you're still going to get less information unless you push yourselves. So yeah, there you go.
A 1.
I've got a 5.
Cool. A 1. This is not like anything you've seen from back home at all. It's like even from the scriptures perhaps you've been looking at and trying to figure out stuff, you've never seen anything like this. Okay. A 5, doctor. You're sort of like, again, you're doing the lights of the stuff and you're testing stuff, and the key things you take is that the body is very, very cold. but it's still moving, and maybe you're doing that sort of thing both with the legs and the hand, and then you're touching stuff and it moves the hand, so it is responding to stimuli. When you do the eye stuff, like, you have to tell Roderick several times to stop following, like, and making a game out of it a little bit, because he's clearly quite enjoying the fact that he has full control over this body. And this is the key thing, I think, with that 5, is that before, when he was sharing Ware's body, Ware's persona was in control. And, like, you know, there was a sort of bit more of a status thing where they could switch back and forth. Here, Roderick was able to coerce, get inside, and is fully in control of Lydra's body. Feels like whatever will or sense of self Lydra had is very, very weakened. And from that, you would gather as well that if Roderick's presence is at the forefront, that's not very good for you folks in terms of Spirit Wardens.
Spirit Wardens. She's not even trying to fight. She's not even trying to be in control of her own body.
I'm really sorry. Someone was knocking on the wall of my flat. What was that last bit? Because I heard Spirit Wardens as I put my headphones back on.
Just saying that with Roderick being at the forefront and being total control, compared to Ware, which there was a bit more status sort of thing, Roderick's presence at the forefront is more likely to attract Spirit Wardens, and this is going to tie into
more
a
likely
little
to
bit.
attract. Sorry, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's going to likely, because again, we completed the clock from last time that the higher apologists are going to do. You think if Roderick steps out again as this person, they will be on you like a ton of bricks.
Doll, you know your jar?
Yes.
You said you could put Ware in the jar. I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying you should.
I don't want to be in a jar.
No. I'm just asking.
Nothing.
No. I'm just asking a question about the jar.
The spirit bottle.
Yeah, the spirit bottle thingy.
Oh, it's just a place to store wayward spirits, but I haven't fully worked out how to take a spirit out of a living being yet, but I could try.
I wonder what would happen if we tried to put Lydra in there. What does a spirit look like when it's in the jar?
Oh, they can look different. You see, some of them are sort of like a mist, sort of swirling. Some of them are angrier and they sort of spark like electricity, like spark. And others have more of a liquid consistency.
Oh, don't go around messing with Lydra's spirit with all your creepy stuff. We need to look after her, not put her in a jar.
I didn't suggest it.
No, I just want to... We don't know how to help her, and I figured the more we could find out, I don't want to hurt her by accident, and maybe that's what
I think
what
I
that
could
would do.
take her out. I've never practiced putting anyone back.
Oh man, no! Look. What all we got to do is sort out the Lissa Bell Crow situation. Then Roderick will be off. Then Lydra will be back. Then we look after Lydra. Chicken soup that's supposed to fix stuff, and we'll be all good.
We can't take her out.
Sard of
With-
Rorik.
As this
It's,
conversation
likely.
carries on, sorry, Lee.
I was just going to say the suppression of her spirit inside her own form behind Rorik is hardly going to do her any good.
No, we can't take him out like this either, because Spirit Wardens will find it. Can we leave him? Can we leave them here?
Yeah.
Will they? You think they'll be all right, and they're not gonna?
You want to leave him in possession of Lydra's body?
Well, what else can we do? Can we take
In
him
our
out?
secret hideout.
Yeah.
I'd rather practice on him.
Well, he's also going to pay us if we get. Oh, I don't want to lose. What we
I-
can
I
do with the
may.
money.
Hello.
If I may, again, a small wrinkled hand comes in, which is Lydra's, but obviously the voice of a much older man. She is quite safe just now. Yes, I've kept her at the back, but don't worry, it's no harm. But obviously, the sooner we solve my murder, the sooner I'll be off, and the sooner you have it. I just thought I'd move in here for ease, and I'll be honest. As soon as I saw Ware turn around and not face that one measly guard, I was like, well, God, I need to find another body out of here, just in case he does get wafted back to the prison again.
Where? One guard?
It was part of my plan. It was all part of the looking at the dock. It was part of the plan. It was part of the plan.
if I may, I will reenact what happened for everyone.
Roderick, you don't need to
okay?
reenact what happened,
A small
Roderick.
woman, no joke, gets up and goes, sneak, sneak, sneak. Ooh. Sneak, sneak, sneak. That is exactly what happened.
It's quite
Did
funny.
we
Does it
learn
over and over again several times.
anything at all? Anything?
We learned that
Yes.
Belle and
Apart
Lissa.
from that both Belle and Lissa are pieces of shit.
We learnt one other thing actually. Belle did call Lissa a fox.
Yeah. Oh no, I think I called her a fox, and he agreed.
He agreed.
Yeah.
It's not exactly.
He also had a lot of tattoos of animals. I think they. I mean, do we not just believe that they're both
I think that's
the fox
that's
and the
solid
rabbit?
proof.
I just
You
think I said
disagree.
she can be cunning like a fox, and he said stabby stabby
Oh.
and did a sort of stab on me,
Oh.
which
I
we
thought-
could take as some kind of proof. But we
All
might
right.
be, jamming square pegs into round holes there. Or fox
if you
pegs
jam
into
a-
rabbit holes, who knows?
To rabbit holes.
Jamming foxes
I-
into rabbit holes. Where I guess they'd be quite happy, but
It would create carnage for the rabbits.
quite. But look,
You-
there were two
you s-
people who murdered Roderick. Could
That's
it not just
right.
be both of them, and now they've turned on each other? Come in.
Yeah, there's a
It's a secret
weird
hideout.
noise. That's...
Oh, I forgot. I've ordered Deliveroo again.
I think Belle has arrived. He's found us. He's a spirit warden.
If
Okay.
you're in the room, ring the bell again.
Wait, what's not clear is why Lydra was with Lissa.
Yeah, what's she doing in the basement of their pub? That's gotta be.
Roderick, this could be important
Could be
for
important.
for your murder. Please, can we talk to Lydra?
Look, all right, but times are ticking, and the more I'm here, the more things are happening. Now that the crows know that you are investigating or have some interest in my death, they're not going to be quiet for long.
Oh, and think we have your body. That's important.
Why do they think that?
Good to know. Maybe a bargaining
I
chip of
didn't-
some sort.
I thought it prudent to not tell them that wasn't in fact true.
Well, clearly they know he's dead.
They did.
Again, not proof of guilt, but if they think that he's dead and we're investigating them, it's probably because they're what
They
done it.
want his body.
Because there must be something on the body that proves who it is. We need to find the body.
Which is why I've been saying this entire time.
We tried and we had no way of finding it. Unless anyone's got any new ideas, I've done everything I can to find that body. It went into a river.
All I got is doing some more sneaking.
I could ask some old friends.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cuff.
I think the doll's right. We need to talk to Lydra. These two things are happening in the same place. They can't not be connected in any way.
So,
Terribly
The-
talkative.
so Roderick will go, all right, I'll do. And then just takes a moment, and then the shoulders start to shake a little, and you can see a tear start to go, and then, yeah, it's clear that Roderick has relinquished control, and there's some gentle sobbing happening as the woman that was sort of sitting quite confidently at one point shrinks down a little bit and starts to cry.
Who does she like the most out of us?
Me, obviously. I'm charming and likable.
Well, you also saved her, so that's a good idea. Well,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think that's...
Hey, it's all right. You're safe here now, in this lovely little library,
I'll bring her a whiskey.
and you got booze. We can get you snacks. It's all good, all good. You feel a bit better at all? Are you saying something, Fiona?
Safe. She says safe.
Oh. I think it was too quiet, so it's cutting out.
Oh, okay, no worries. Sorry, I'll be louder. Yeah, she says, she said, yeah, safe and better. She just repeats those words back to you.
Great, yeah. Now the doc, the good doctor, is very skilled at fixing people up also other things, but fixing people up and making them all better. So you don't need to worry anymore, and you can just tell us what happened.
What happened?
Yeah. So you don't look very well, and you was in a pub of the what's it called? Sidearm Public House. Do you remember going there?
Shakes her head.
Do you remember a wine cellar with a door in?
So looks confused and still shakes her head again. She's still shivering a little bit.
Where have you been for the past few weeks?
And she starts to break down, sobbing again.
Oh, so no. Sorry. I didn't. Sorry. Somewhere. Oh.
The doll will sit in front of her and go, "Where do you go when Roderick takes over?"
She sort of looks and goes, sort of like feels the back of her head.
Is it safe there?
Safe.
Better?
Better.
Okay. I think we maybe Roderick being at the front is easier for her right now. You know nothing about Lissa or Belle? Do those words mean anything to you?
Or the
Looks at you and
crows.
sort of-
Or
sort of
Roderick.
Can you do one?
She looks confused.
Sorry.
And shakes her head.
Can you do one more thing for me, Lydra, and then we'll let you sleep? Can you look into Roderick's head and see if there's anything he's not telling us?
Oh, Emily Bates is such a fucking smarty.
She sort of looks at you and sort of like takes a moment to think, and she sort of screws up her eyes a little bit. And you see her hand sort of then grip the side of the couch, and then the eyes open again, and it's clear that Roderick is now back in across. Naughty.
I
How
was
dare
just
you send an
checking.
old crying woman to go peer into my head?
Can I punch him in the face?
You're going to punch an old lady in the face?
I'm going to punch him in the face. I don't care what he's riding. Let's go.
All right.
Oh man. Oh no.
Roll a skirmish for me, please.
It's been a bad day for Cuff.
If you the consequence of this is if you fail, you are going to hit. You're going to connect, but you are going to break her jaw.
Oh God, I'm so sorry, Lydra, but this guy is being a real piece of work.
That's right. That's fine then. That's there we go.
I'm having a bad day. I've got to
Look, cuff's gonna cuff.
I'd also say you're also stabbed in the back in the shoulder.
Ow.
So
It's true.
I'm
It's
going to
true.
make you. How much have you got in a skirmish?
2. I got 2 dice in
I'm going
skirmish.
to take 1 away from
Oh
you.
God, it's so much worse now. All right,
You're on 1 die.
I believe in you, Holly.
let's do it. Oh, it's a 2.
2. You go, and you can see you're lashing out in anger. This is Cuff, and you all see this as well. The fighter, the person that goes with it, and you just go, and you just without thinking almost you hit her. You hear the snap of the jaw, and it breaks.
Oh,
Cuff,
No, I can't just put a plaster on that.
we definitely should leave Roderick in charge now.
Oh.
I think Cuff sees that and goes. It kind of reminds them of something they really don't like to think about, and they just go, "You know what? You figure it out. I'm going for a walk. Going for a walk. I'll be back." And they storm out.
Should I follow them?
Yeah, rather you than me.
Are you going to be all right
Can't
with the
help.
spirit?
Oh,
Can't
actually, maybe.
help but notice
Don't
that
leave me
have
here.
that we have no plan. We now have 1 less crew member. We do not have a body. We have granted a contact back. However, they are caught behind another spirit and now have a broken jaw. What are we doing?
Well, we've been trying things, Doctor. What have you been doing?
This feels like amateur hour from all of us. What is wrong with us? What is going on?
I don't know. And the doll will walk after Cuff.
Oh, no. Oh. You're right, Doc.
I don't like how she spoke to me, Alistair.
Well, she's just, I'll tell her. I'll have, when she comes back, I can say, you...
No,
What?
not them.
Right.
Lissa.
Oh. All right. Oh, Lissa. Right, okay. Oh. Sure.
She spoke to me like I was an idiot. Like we were
You-
all idiots. And that she could grind us under her boot.
We should do something about that.
Quite.
What exactly should we do?
I'm not sure. But the retribution, whether it is part of this job or no, will have to come swift and hard. She must know that she cannot speak to me like that and say those things about us.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. We're going to show her. I'm going to go and get some snacks first, because I feel like we could all do with some snacks, and then we'll show her. And I'm going to run away.
Cool.
I'm going to run away from this whole situation.
So the doctor, you're left there. The rest of your team has left you. You've got a small lady who's holding her jaw, who then spits out a tooth and looks at you with a toothy grin, but can't speak because the jaw is broken.
Oh,
so
God.
Roderick just quietly just goes, shrugs shoulders,
God.
and puts the tooth
I'm-
like on the table.
I'm going to put the tooth in a tube there, in a little pot that I've got in my pocket, and pocket it. And then Lydra's a small, weak old lady, isn't she? I'm gonna pick her up and take her down to the lab and put her and give her something to make her sleep.
Yeah, and Roderick doesn't like any qualms with this. Like, again, maybe you get the sense of like that actual physical violence, whilst it hurt the body as well, has sort of shown Roderick that like, okay, well, you don't trust him now, and he's probably not going to get any other chance to move to a different body, so he's willing to go with it and stuff like that. But as he sort of writes on a note using Lydra's sort of hand still, because he cannot speak, and sort of puts it to you and says like, it's words to the effect of, Lissa thinks you have my body. You don't have my body. Pretend to have body? Question mark. And then, as almost like a flashback to the previous episode, writes down Scrooged? Question mark. And have that confrontation that you talked about right at the beginning of last episode, where you talked about that reveal, that confrontation. But then just happily just sort of indicates for the arm for the injection to go in.
Sorry, I'm lost.
We were gonna do a whole like, I know what you did. You have killed me.
Oh, Christmas Carol.
Now you
Yes.
must confess.
Christmas Carol, that's
Christmas
right.
Carol, yes. Which is canon in this world.
That was a suggestion that you guys made at the
everything's
end, but you
against
didn't go in that in the end.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying to you is that you do have this bargaining chip that they think you have something they want. And whether or not you do have it
Yes.
or not gives you something. So that is something you can work with to plan. I also want to remind folks that the Doctor did have a plan, or sort of suggested meeting up at Gaddock Station with the body in 2 hours. Now, whilst Liz didn't agree to that plan, I don't think that's a bad idea. I think something
She
like
may
that,
still
a
come.
meeting point, she may still come because it's something that's very important to her.
Really
So-
wants it.
Or does Belle want it instead?
Ooh, shit. Yes, shit. Lissa said no.
Then how would Belle find out about it if they're
Belle
not
didn't.
talking?
We could go and tell him.
We go make Belle an offer.
Yeah,
But
they
you
are
know that
fighting.
there's a disagreement between these two individuals. So if one was going to have the upper hand on the other, that could be enough distraction. And then putting one of them or both of them down for murder, even if you don't have evidence, because you still haven't found any evidence, no sign of the masks or cloaks or anything like that. You still can go and try and sneak back into the office and stuff, but I will say that you will know that you're going to be on high alert now. So that's what I'm just
The
laying
office is
down
probably
the
off
pieces.
now.
It feels like it. I'm not saying it isn't though, and that's what I'm sort of laying out.
Yeah, sorry, I was
what
just saying to the
heist
others.
is.
I think that one. Okay,
Yeah.
let's just talk. I think we have to talk above table. We're not good at talking above table.
No,
but none of us
No,
are used
I know
to
that's
it.
why I'm telling.
Okay,
yeah.
so office, no, doesn't seem like a good plan again. Like, let's rule out going to
And
the
the
places
likelihood
that
of there
they
being
are.
like a smoking gun is kind of low, I feel.
Unless we find the masks and the
Yeah,
cloaks,
exactly.
like I think we've got nothing.
Dagger.
Yeah, or the dagger. The body, we do not know where it is. We saw it go into the water. The spirit wardens are patrolling, and I assume have been looking
Everyone
for
else
it
is
as well.
Everybody's looking
Like,
for it, and they haven't found it.
How are we going to find it over them? I can't think of any way, other than me doing another spirit thing. But we did that before, and I, above table, rolled well, and we didn't find where the body went. So I think not worth it.
And I rolled well as well with my contact.
Yeah, right. We had
that
2
also
good
came up
rolls, and we
nothing.
found out some stuff, but it didn't lead us to the body. So I think the body might just be gone. So going to the place where they think the body might be, interesting. Particularly if Lissa maybe goes and we tell Belle
Yeah, we
as
could write to
well,
Belle
then
to
maybe they
say,
both go. Maybe we
That's it.
witness some kind of confrontation between them, which gives us some kind of answer as to who maybe did it, if it was one of them rather than both. Or maybe they confirms that it was both, and maybe we get our answer that way.
I kind of want to bring us back round to the idea of just framing them both for it and not solving it at all and just being like, wow, it's probably one of them, wasn't it?
But that's not what we've agreed to do.
It's probably, Roderick might not be happy with that.
Not what we've agreed to do.
The thing you've said is that find out who did it and
Yeah,
serve them justice.
Yeah.
However, that sounds fair.
but we do have
It's
to
up to you.
know. We can't just.
I don't think
It
he'll
is up
accept.
to you.
Like,
It is up to you. It is up
I
to you.
do
guys,
like
whatever
the
you think.
idea.
he's
of,
not following us anymore.
He's not following you anymore.
I think that despite Lissa saying that she wasn't coming, I think that is likely to be a power play of I'm not going because you've told me to.
But maybe we'll go. Yeah.
She thinks that we've got what she wants, and I think that if we can give Belle that information as well, and then go but be concealed, give Shamini another chance to sneak and hide. I think it would be interesting to observe an exchange and listen in on an exchange between them, and at least as a starting point to see if that comes about.
I think that's a good.
We don't sign if we do write a note or anything from to Bella or anything. I don't think we sign it from us.
Right.
It's anonymous.
Meet me here, and I'll have the body.
Where maybe you can go leave it at the tattoo parlor.
Tattoo parlor.
Yeah.
Pass it on.
Sneaky.
Yes, it
I
shouldn't
also
be you
think
two.
we should on the Scrooge thing. If we can prove that Roderick is a ghost, they don't know that Roderick doesn't remember or didn't see.
Roderick could possess
killed
them.
Yeah. I don't think.
I
if he
had to
would
agree
want
to it.
though.
I had to agree before Roderick possessed me. He's only possessing Lydra because she didn't put up a fight. I don't think.
Yeah.
he can
I
be
think
forced.
We could all feign possessed.
We know enough.
Yeah.
Good
We've
if there was
we-
someone
I've
that only
seen
he
We
it.
do
knows.
actually have Roderick.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah,
his
that's what I'm thinking.
spirit.
What if we brought Lydra along or
Yeah.
Roderick with us in some way, and at that point
Yeah.
let him take over
Yeah.
in terms of voice and mannerisms? Because that's going to be the most convincing thing.
Yeah.
Is
I
if
agree.
Roderick's there.
That's true. And if he claims to know it was them, we'll get some information about whether they deny it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't
Okay,
talk
so
anymore, but...
let's. I've
So
gone
I was
after
just-
Cuff, but yeah.
You've gone after cover. So yeah, I want to. So just so we got it. Just want to. So the plan is. Where is going to? Well, a letter is going to be penned to Belle. Where
I'll
the
write it.
deliberate.
My writing's
It's
probably
going to be
nicer than
penned
Wes.
by the doctor. It doesn't matter about the details necessarily, but like the letter will be penned to Belle saying that an arrangement is going to happen, and you're going to give that to the tattoo parlor through Ware because Ware has not been there. Fine. How are you indicating to Lissa that there's going to be an exchange? Are you going to write similar letters?
I think we send a letter as well and say,
Mm-hmm.
if you're still up for it, we'll be there. If not, someone else might be.
Fine. So 2 similar letters going to each
But
individual.
Lissa knows it's us, but
Yes.
Belle doesn't necessarily.
I think we write a letter to Lissa that implies that it's from someone else other than us.
He thinks we
There's
have the
something
body.
like, I know who's got Roderick's body.
So
Yeah,
she-
we've said, because
Yeah.
that backs up our story, doesn't it? If the note came from someone that said I know who's got Roderick's body, go to the station in 2 hours, then she's like, well, I know who's got the body. I don't know that.
I think
I
you
just-
said go there in 2 hours. I think you should just send her another letter being like, no, go there in 2 hours.
Are we not just assuming she will go?
She might, but let's not take chances on that.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
okay.
Yeah, fine.
It's send them a letter, and then the plan is to go there with Lydra, and then have a confrontation with them. Is that
Watch first.
No, not a confrontation. Like listen in.
Yeah, more like a disguise kind of spy thing, right? We're going to watch to see what happens and then style it out, depending on what we need to do.
the plan? All right, I hear the word "start it out." I'm going to take that as your plan. The one thing I just want to tweak a little bit is that yes, you are correct. Lydra currently is in no position to talk because her jaw is broken. However, we do know that ghosts can manifest and be present in the thing. That is something that can happen, but I want to make that clear to you, is that Lydra currently can't speak just now. So if you want them to talk, but like in somebody else's body, they would have to possess one of you guys, because Lydra is in no place to
But
talk.
or you're saying Roderick could pop out like he did when I met him and be like, hello,
Correct.
here I am.
Yeah, I want to make that clear,
cool,
because because we've had such a drastic consequence to
Got on.
Lydra. And the thing is that like Roderick will happily go along with you guys, but I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah.
If you were like relying on this old lady being the voice, and she's like, "Ugh."
He can
as
pop out.
well. Oh, it's so bad.
I wonder whether it's not worth bringing Lydra at all. Bringing
We just-
Roderick,
Yeah, I agree.
but not because we're only likely to put Lydra in more danger.
Roderick
I
will
put her to
have to
sleep.
be possessed again. Roderick will have to
Possess
possess one of us again, because he needs to be in the back of my head in order to not be immediately detected by spirit wardens. But that's fine. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so are we happy then for Roderick
Yeah.
to possess one of you? It doesn't have to be where. I know that's
Yeah.
canonically that's what's happening. I'm just trying to make sure that the
Yeah.
planning,
Yeah,
the
that's
minimal
better,
planning
yeah.
that we're supposed to be doing is short, and we can just get to the
Yeah,
story. I just
yeah.
wanted to just double check.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Roderick is in my head, and the plan is he could either take over or he could just pop out if we get to the Scrooging.
Sounds good. All right,
Scrooging.
that's above
Just
the table.
before we leave, just a little
Mhm.
a little detail. There are restraints on my medical bed in the laboratory at the bottom of the library. I'm
Mhm.
going to lightly restrain Lydra before we leave, both so that she's not a danger to herself and so she
Mhm.
doesn't get up and disappear while we're out.
Correct.
Okay. And
Could be
are you
weird,
still
but we'll
sedating?
go with tracks.
Are you sedating her still? Just wanted to double check.
Yes. She's. I think it will one help her not dislodge her jaw, and it will help with the
Yeah.
whatever else.
You
I know
maybe
it'll
bandage
also-
her up a little bit, like again, like do the best you can, and then just fine, and then we'll say for reasons it's already possessed. I assume where? Just checking on that. Cool. Let's have that sort of quick scene with the doll and Cuff as you've sort of brushed off. We'll do that, and then we'll jump forward to the heist.
Not
Okay.
on the snack scene where I describe all the snacks.
We'll come to your snack scene in a second. Hang on, we'll have the emotional little touchstone moment, and then we'll go. Meanwhile, at the restaurant, and you can order whatever you want.
Yeah. The doll will chase after Cuff and go, "Hello, where are you going?"
I can't. I am no
What
good
was
for.
that?
I don't know. I don't know how to do anything apart from. Well, I don't even know how to do that, do I? I don't know how to punch anything or punch.
You clearly do. You punched her very well.
Oh, well, yeah, easy to punch an old woman in the face, isn't it? I feel great about it.
Okay, talk to me. What's going on, Eve?
Don't call me that. Somebody might. Don't call me that. I look, when this is done, when we've done whatever that ghost wants us to do, I want you to try something. I want you to do me a favor. I just need a break for a second, and I
I'm
just
not
need.
Going to pull your,
I
your
want
spirit out
to-
your body, Cuff.
I need you to try and just. I need you to see what it looks like. I
Not
need you to.
on you.
Why not? Have a go. It'll be good for you anyway, because you'll get to practice. And I just need a break, all right? I need just to get out for a minute.
Cuff, there are many people who it is better for me to do that on than you. I will. One day, I promise. I will make it better. I will remove everything that hurts. But don't make me do it to you first.
Look, if we get out of this, I'm going to need it sooner rather than later, okay?
Fine. I'll get practicing. Can we go back now? We have to sort this.
God, I don't want to look at her. I feel so bad.
It's okay. The doctor will do whatever the doctor does and sedate them, and hopefully nothing more than that. And I'm sure she'll be fine.
Maybe you return back and you can see the doctor is like wrapping almost like Invisible Man style bandages around
yeah. See?
the.
Fixing it.
I'll go and read in the corner while this is happening, if that's all right.
Yeah, they're quite tight. I don't know whether that is the doctor. And I would say, again, just an allusion back to your Vice doctor, you got some records playing. It's like, just, I don't know. I'm trying to think
Lightly
of any
humming to myself while I
slightly humming to yourself, you're like, that's not my name. That's not my name. Let's go to, very quickly, let's go over to where you're ordering food. I want you to do a quick paint the scene for me. Yes.
It's just it's really important that we really appreciate that there are quite a lot of small, round, little boxes of dim sum. You've got like little yams, bird's nest, crispy, crunchy things. You've got some like turnip paste squares. That's the good shit. You've got like various bits of fish and prawn in some gloopy noodle stuff. And you've got dumplings, all the dumplings. And take away. Come back to the library, probably around the time everyone else is ready to leave again, because
you're like,
at that point we have to continue our heist. But we'll take one to go. It's fine. Here, have a little circular box.
What I'd say, if you are willing to take 2 stress, where as you're like desperately ordering, like, oh, I will fix this with food.
Yes.
You bring bubble tea for everyone. Everyone else can reduce their stress by 1 if they have it. Because you're giving them food before going out.
Does fix everything. I knew it in my heart.
Well, you can't go heist on an empty stomach. And
stress, okay.
And as as you start eating, and as you sort of discuss a little bit of the plan, and you go okay, and you go to Lydra's hand, you sort of make that connection, and you invite Roderick in. He sort of goes, oh, well, it was fun being old lady. All right. I'll have some of the shrimp, please. So, I'm going to suggest that the writing of the letters happens. We can sort of montage to like suddenly like there's a knock on the door of the thick wrist tattoo parlor. You see Shimmer sort of look out because there's a massive big like spider like cracks in the glass, and so Quarterly looks out, opens the door. There's no one there. Looks at the actual door itself, and there's like a note pinned, and there's like a bell sign on it, and there's a shit, and he sort of brings it in, shuts the door. We go to the public house. We see like a tray with another sort of note on it, sort of passing by various people, and it ends up back at the same booth with Lissa still just finishing off her oysters, and she goes, opens it, looks at it, reads it through, and goes, well. Grab my coat. I'm off to the station. I'm going to say that you have made it. That you will have the interaction at Gaddock Station, which we described last time. It's just maybe a couple more hours later, but the stakes are significantly higher as a result. And we'll come back to what happens in the second part, because it's now quite close to 20 past, and I think it's time for a lore drop. Do you not think? Go for a lore drop?
Lore drop.
So I'm doing a lore drop this week, and it's an interesting one. I'm going to talk about bodies. Bodies. Body. And instantly I'm going to say this with a massive content warning. So obviously it's a bit too gruesome for what I'm saying. Please just come back in about 15 minutes. We'll be in the break then. And so just come back when you're ready, because I appreciate not everyone wants to talk about bodies. So the main big thing I wanted to talk about is maybe people have heard of it, but there is an exhibition called Body Worlds or Body Works. and that is basically on display are these human, the anatomy essentially of a human. There was a person called, I want to say his name's Gunther, that might be horrifically sort of like me misthinking about it, but he developed a way, I think it's called plastination, a way to sort of keep bodies in like sort of intact after death, and then use them in sort of very some artistic poses, but mostly to demonstrate how the body is and how it looks like to both medical students and also just to us humans as well. Because whilst plastic models and drawings can do quite a lot, because that's what we used to do with medical drawings. We used to have beautiful illustrators peeling back and all that sort of thing. It's not the same as seeing an actual body. And so this particular mortician developed this thing called plastination, which essentially, again, I'm not the scientist in this, but essentially after sort of I think like sort of putting the body into certain different stasis, you can put plastic in it and it sort of like remolds the body and makes it all completely plasticky. And so then these bodies, after they are sort of made and covered in all these chemicals and stuff like that, they're still movable after death. And so they can be put into positions and really sort of intricately sort of put in, and you can show them like the nervous system, or if they're doing like, say for example, the one I'm looking at just now looks like somebody doing the splits, but it's all their skin is off on it as well, and so you can see like the brain and all that sort of thing. There are famous sort of more artistic pieces where it's like a poker game that's happening. It's supposed to be reminiscent of like a James Bond scene, the sort of poker game and that. And I will say, a lot of the bodies are people who have donated it specifically for this exhibit. It's not just like, well, as far as I'm aware, I will say there's some controversy, as always with these sort of things, so your mileage may vary, but from what I understand is a lot of these bodies have been donated specifically for science or for helping people educate themselves about what the bodies are like. And not only is it human bodies, but it's also animal bodies as well. And so you have stuff like a gorilla or a giraffe or a camel, for example. And there's definitely there was one video that I saw, which is like putting two of these bodies on the back of a camel, and how it took 3 years to properly build this sort of piece of art. Because not only are you sort of making sure the body is prepared and will not decompose at all, but also if you're cutting it up into pieces, making sure it's all on like these tubes and stuff like that, and aligning it and then freezing it in place so that it will not move at all. And it's very delicate operations. So that's Body World of Body Works, and it's an exhibition that goes around the world. I think there used to be one in Manchester that I went to a long time ago. But I just thought it was fascinating how like, again, we can like really find out about the body. And I will say as well, this particular person who has done this exhibition, his request is at the end, when he finally passes over, his wish is to become part of the exhibit, to the point where he is very happy, this is me quoting from the actual article, that he wants to be the person that welcomes you in. So either sitting down or standing up and welcoming in almost like a terrible Willy Wonka style. To, like,
wow, this is quite cool.
If he didn't want to be in it, you'd be like, come
Then
on.
maybe
like,
don't do it, yeah. I will say, like, I'm not going to put them on screen because they are quite gruesome, but if you are interested, it's quite graphic. Google plastination and you will see a lot of pictures of it, and it is quite remarkable.
I would also say this person did like the first live autopsy in the UK about maybe 10-15 years ago, which you could still watch on Channel 4. Again, your mileage may vary, a bit graphic, but there was a lot of stuff about it, because at the time, obviously, those sort of things aren't for public view, certainly not broadcast. And there's a thing about mortuaries as well, and as someone who worked in a university which was part of a hospital, it was very interesting, the anatomy classes and the mortuary and stuff like that, because obviously you have to agree to have your bodies be taken in and used for science and stuff, and they're taken with extreme care. And so you, as students, you know who the patient is, you know what their name is, you have contact with their family, or you know a bit about them, but you are not allowed to post, naturally, photos of the bodies online or anything like that for privacy's sake, because the dead person cannot consent to it. But it is fascinating how much of the bodies they will use over a whole year, and going through and like learn all like the nerves and stuff like that, and like make detailed notes of their own stuff, and then at the end, once they've finished, they'll go and have a private ceremony for the bodies that they've worked on over the year, and say thank you to them as well. That's something that happened at my university. It might differ at different medical universities, but it was very fascinating going to see that. So not for everyone as well. Lots of people did not want to go on that tour, but it was one of the last things I did before I moved. So yeah, wow. I'd recommend having a look if you are so inclined. Very interesting.
If you're squeamish, I recommend not, but it's cool. I think it's amazing. I'd never seen that before. That is, they're kind of like weirdly, macabrely beautiful.
Incredibly so. Yeah.
Lots of people have got like odd things to be done with their bodies. The one that brought to mind was Jeremy Bentham. Are you aware of?
Oh, I went to King's. I'm so aware of Jeremy Bentham.
Oh, his
Yeah.
head.
Oops.
Yeah.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Jeremy Bentham is the father of utilitarianism, who said the philosophy of the greatest good for the greatest number, and he asked that his skeleton be along with a wax model of his head and his actual clothes are displayed, and they are displayed at UCL.
Yeah.
And it's all a bit weird. There was even an episode of The Simpsons.
Oh, was there?
That he was in.
It.
Yeah. The Simpsons did it.
There was an old...
and Edison as well.
Yeah, there was supposedly a time when Kings and UCL have a big rivalry. They're the two in London. And supposedly... King's students once stole the head of Jeremy Bentham.
I heard that
played
rumor,
football with it. I don't know
Yeah.
how true it is, but to be clear, not the actual head, the wax head. But,
Yeah.
But I think it's probably true. They stole our lion and buried it. So, and it was a model lion, but still.
But like the things people doing stuff with, oh my gosh.
Jeremy Bentham finds a new home.
Oh my lord. People doing things with their body though after death. This is like something that goes way back. Like from a literary history point of view, there's a book called The Book of Skin, which is about kind of the literary reception of all things to do with skin. So it's got things like tattoos, things like blushing, things like all sorts. But it also has a bit, again, content warning for a bit squeamish. It's nowhere near as squeamish as the stuff that we've just been talking about. But there's like, you know how books used to be bound by skin, usually sheepskin. There were a bunch of books that were actually bound by human skin for various reasons. One, because it was a book of sonnets that a lover, after she died, was like, I want to send my lover a book of sonnets with like the soft skin, my upper back. So she had a book bound of sonnets and sent to her lover. And then also things like they would like write criminal code with things like criminal skin and things like that, so it would have extra kind of weighted meaning when you were reading this book, which is absolutely horrifying.
I love the idea that you get like, oh, what's this? Oh, it's a book of sonnets. Oh, it's made out of your skin.
Oh, your skin.
Oh,
cool.
There's a little note in here. Oh, thanks.
Wow.
Oh, it was so nice until just then.
I'll really treasure it. I'll put it on the coffee table.
Yep.
Oh, that was really cool.
Yeah,
Caitlin
like
in chat says we owe so much to people who do donate their bodies. 100%. People who donate to their bodies to science are amazing.
And I'll say as well, very quickly, is that if you are considering it, donating your body for science, make sure you tell people ASAP. Don't wait till like your final days, because it is such a short window for people, not only just for organ donation, but for people to take people's bodies. Like again, I say this as someone who worked at a university that had medical options. A lot of the times we'd get calls going, oh well, Granddad passed away 2 days ago. Do you want his body? And you're like, well, we can't take it because again, you have to make sure the checks are okay and obviously the consent and all that sort of thing. So if you are considering something like that, let the relevant people know about it, because it is so helpful and useful. It also might not be in with your beliefs either, so that's okay as well. But if you want to talk about it, say it to people. And there's a whole campaign recently about talking about what you want after your death as well, and normalizing conversations about it. And I think it's just something really healthy to do. 100%. I remember, like, my final little thing, I remember an ex-partner of mine, because he was very big on this sort of stuff. He used to say, if people wanted, if it felt people would like to have my body stuffed like a bear, I would happily let that happen. There's a reason I'm not going out with him anymore, but I just like the idea of like, you just there in the corner. It's like, oh, there he is.
Like, oh, there's Dave. Yeah.
There's Dave. So it's the only thing I remember of that ex. Maybe that's the only reason why I was like, we're no longer together. That's probably a good idea. It's just going to be like this in the corner. I'll take your coat,
Oh,
so.
you could have it so it's just ready to hold things. Yeah.
Hold your keys.
Hats. Like, keys,
feels
fingers.
Weird.
I love it.
Phenomenal. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching part 1. We're going to take a little break now and we'll be back. I'm sure this is the plan we've made seems perfect and foolproof, and I'm sure
Airtight.
this is the one where it's going to go perfectly.
Yeah.
I can feel it. So we'll see you in a few minutes. We're going to have a little break. Thanks for watching. See you shortly. Bye.
Hello, and welcome back to Blood and Fog, A Blaze and Dark Story. One thing I'm going to quickly mention before we get back in, this is a sort of a self-plug for the RP Geeks. You might have seen on our socials that we got nominated for, it's New Zealand Webfest
Yes.
for Orbital Blues.
Yes.
And I just want to do a massive shout out to Shamini, who put all the hard work into the application, which is something I can never do. So amazing work. But also thank you to the folks who have watched it and stuff like that. So obviously thanks to Ed Spence for running it. We've got Drac, Dylan, and then ourselves at the RP Geeks. If you want to check out, it's such a really cool story. So that's Orbital Blue Black Star. It's over on the RP Geeks.
I'm going to go put the playlist at the top of the YouTube channel right now.
Amazing.
Hell yeah.
So I just wanted to shout us out because sometimes it is award season. She says in quotation marks. And again, I know there's lots of stuff right now in the TTRPG sphere about like, oh, nominate me and this, that, the other. And you know what? Like we did this hard work on ourselves. We submitted to the thing, and we got sort of recognised as a result. So yeah, it's just an application that we got in. We won't know anything until later on. But I just wanted to say, hey, that's really cool. So yeah, go check out Orbital Blues Black Star. We're very, very proud of it. But enough about that sort of award nominating thing. What about us now? Blood and the Fog. Yeah, that's going to be award nominated as well.
Blood and fog. Blood and
Fog.
Blood and fog.
Let's quickly recap where we are with our Harriers. So we have regrouped back at the Harriers hideout with now a sort of new person, Lydra, who had been missing. Lydra was their sort of deal broker who went missing at the beginning of the series and now has returned to them. And after a little to and fro about deciding what to do with this sort of tension between Lissa and Bell, the sort of two people sort of in command, maybe Lissa's in command of the Crows just now. Who is it that has murdered Roderick, the person that sent them on this quest? To note that Roderick then did possess Lydra. Lots of L's in this game, I've discovered. But a plan has been set whereby we're going to go to Gaddock Station. The Doctor had originally given out this offer to Lissa end of the last session, which was rejected. But now, using this tension, this playoff between Bell and Lissa, it is a question of who can get there first and see if they can get any incriminating evidence, etc., with the promise of handing over a body. But importantly, no one has signed letters. It's just sort of like you know what, we've got it, you know what it is. Come to Gaddock Station in a couple of hours' time. So it's going to be close towards the middle of the night at this point. Gaddock Station itself, I've described it. Imagine it is a huge hub, almost like London St Pancras or the Paris station as well as Gare du Nord, where there's just lots and lots of different platforms. But not only are there sort of both sort of how can I say landscape, both sort of the horizontal, but also the vertical as well. We have different sort of like structures, different platforms that are up, up, and up, because this goes through the whole of the country and it sort of comes to this hub in Duskvol itself. My question to you folks, we're going to get a little bit of details now. Where do you think you would have asked them to meet, to exchange the body or do whatever? Where do we think? Do we think it'd be on a platform, in a waiting room? Where? I'm going to hand it over to you folks to sort of paint the scene a little bit. Where do you think you would have asked Lissa and Bell to come?
My gut says like a train yard.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Because
Out the back?
it's going to be away from the public. But there will also
Places to
be plenty
hide.
of places for us to hide and listen in.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yeah, that would be my gut.
Perfect. So we go sort of out. So again, we see the hustle bustle, all these different sort of like platforms that are sort of going up into the sky, into the ceiling itself. But then we sort of move past the fog. You see, we sort of go out there, and again, the place itself. Whilst we've always sort of talked about the steam and the fog itself, it's just the soot in the air. Again, these are all a mixture of both coal. So you see engineers covered in the stuff, big sort of goggles, flat caps just completely covered, and they take them off. You can just barely see out of it. But also we've got some new, almost electro rail ones as well that are powered by the sort of the electroplasm that sort of rushes through. So you have a mixture of these things, all with the sparks happening between the rails as certain cargo trains move off. As we follow one of these cargo trains out into the yard itself, we see several like carriages and different trains in disrepair that are sort of spread out, and there's a couple of like warehouses and sheds and whatnot. And I'm going to suggest for ease that you have said to meet them by a particular train that's sort of been dilapidated. Maybe there's a couple of like cranes and whatnot next to it so you can hide in the shadows, but there is a carriage that people would meet in perhaps, so they will be definitely in a contained area. where are the four of you? Are you? I'm guessing if you wanted to be close but listen in, you're not necessarily inside the carriage, but you're probably around. What's the thoughts about where you are at the beginning of the second part of the heist?
I think we should
I
be.
feel like we should be in two groups nearby in case one group gets rumbled or if they move.
The doll is quite slight, so I wonder if there's a way of getting like under the seats somewhere in the train carriage. If it's sort of like got benches, whether I can be like hidden entirely, like in a, you know how some old trains used to have benches that you sat on that also were lids into a box. Could I be in a box?
Love that.
Bates, do you wish to be in a box?
I do wish to be in a box, yes.
You are in a box. All right, you're in a box.
In a box.
Nearby. In the carriage?
In the
sorry?
carriage,
Or,
yeah.
Perfect, yeah. Maybe there's a couple of like, lost luggage, etc.
Perfect,
Like
yeah.
big sort of things, and you're just like, hee, like eyes Gromit style.
I think I might start off on the roof of one of the further down carriages so that I can step silently over to the roof of the relevant carriage without crunching any gravel when I want to start eavesdropping. Don't know how many people they're going to bring, do they? But oh well, let's try it.
I think I'll go if we're sort of being covered from above, which was my first thought as well. But I thought, but I think because those big old trains have got like big cast iron wheels underneath, don't they? And they've got significant ground clearance. So I think I might make sure I'm wearing a dark jacket with a hood or something to cover up my bright white hair, and sort of shimmy underneath the carriage, and sort of lie down between some wheels.
Because I think we're hoping
along a track.
to eavesdrop before we reveal ourselves, aren't
Yes.
we? Just to see what
No,
we
no.
say.
Very much are, yes.
I'm just
Yeah.
basically I'm setting it up so
Yeah.
you know where your positions are before
Yeah.
this begins. This is still part of the same heist. I'm not going to change your loadouts or anything like that, so everything should carry over from last time, just so you know. And equally, it just makes it easier for you guys to know that. And I'll say this: at any point, you can change your position to be like, "Oh, flashback! I'm actually elsewhere." Because I think this is important to emphasize this because currently you're eavesdropping, but at any time something could happen, and I want to make sure that you have full uno reverso. No, you can jump in on that. So I'm just making sure. So yes, you're all sort of dotted around Hitman style. One in the box to get that achievement. Everyone else around bits and pieces. And you wait. You are there probably about half an hour, and I'd say where you're sort of like, again, you're hiding the shadows. Because you're possessed by Roderick, you can start to feel, you suddenly sort of realize actually that your fingers are tapping, and you actually go, oh, I'm really nervous. But then you realize they're not your nerves, they're Roderick's nerves. Like, he can feel it. Like, you can, like, again, that's almost like his identity over your identity, and it's that sort of heart. You can feel his spirit, heart, or whatever you want to call it, beating, and it's using your heart, and it's, you kind of almost grip yourself, and you sort of show restraint,
Roderick, those are my fingers. My fingers. You're stressing me out.
Sorry, it's just, I know it's them.
Yeah, well, we're gonna bust them for you, and then we're gonna be very rich.
Well, I hope so. They better be here.
Just keep quiet, right?
Like the grave. And you can feel your teeth get set a little bit. And again, you can feel that grimace as he is ready. About 15 minutes. And all of you, from your various positions, maybe not the doll per se, but again, you probably can feel it a little bit, the doll. You see someone in a cloak, a green cloak, hood up, slowly walking to and from the different sort of, like, almost sticking to the shadows of the other train carts and the carriages and stuff like that, and looking around, or looks like they're looking around, takes a moment, and they get up into the carriage itself, so you feel that weight as the carriage moves a little bit, and the doll, you can feel footsteps as someone comes in, and sort of, again, there's a bit of a pause and a wait. and you sort of sigh a little bit. So, and you slowly peek out, not moving, and maybe going to the keyhole.
Yeah, keyhole.
Yep, and yet we're slowly getting closer. And you can see, from the doll's point of view, that this person has sort of sat down on one of the sort of seats, essentially, and they're sort of like moving their fingers and but what you notice is that their fingers are not gloved, and you can see a couple of tally marks on the fingers themselves, indicating that Belle has arrived. A couple more minutes go by. Is anyone doing anything? No, they're holding position.
Yep.
Those people outside see another figure, slowly but calmly making their way across. Not cloaked, so easily distinguishable as Lissa. Sort of hair back. She sort of takes a moment, gears herself, and steps up onto the carriage itself. And as the sort of door opens, and she looks in, the figure in the cloak looks back, and they see each other. And they freeze in place. And instantly both of them go to their side and pull out a gun to hold at each other.
I forgot there were guns in this world.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be, like when you set people up on a date and they don't know and they're like, oh no,
Both
it's you, friends have set us up. Oh,
Well, it's a bit like that. It's a bit like that.
but with guns.
We have set them up, to be fair.
Yeah, we did do that, yeah.
They're just holding position. And Lissa goes, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And Belle goes, "I could ask you the same question." Oh, sorry. I could ask you the same question, Mom. Don't you fucking toy with me. Do you have it? Have what, Mom? Oh, for goodness sake. Do you have the body? What the hell are you talking about? And sort of slowly but surely lower the guns a little bit. And the hood comes off, and it is Belle. Lissa sort of looks around the carriage a little bit, and she goes, "Very clever, this. I suppose this is your doing. This is your grab for power, Belle." Please. It was always going to be rightfully mine, the crows. He said it. In his will. You know he said it in his will. Bullshit. Bullshit. He said he would know when the time is right, and he would split it equally. No. You can't do that to us. You can't do that to our dad. This is our legacy, and you are fucking it up. Where is his body? You know what, sis? I'm done taking orders from you. I'm fucking done. And he goes and grabs his gun. What are you going? Anyone going to do anything?
I'm gonna say to Roderick, I think this is your cue.
Yeah, is that what you're saying?
Yes, but I think what I will also do is I will also swing down off the roof through a window and try and kick Roderick out of my body.
Before you do that, just because it might get us more information before this happens, I would like to flash back and write an additional letter. Well, not an additional letter to send, but when we have Roderick wrote a note for me when it was just me left in the library. I would like him to write a note that says, "I know what you did to me," in his handwriting.
Okay.
And I would like that to be in the carriage when they get there. Because neither of them have said out loud yet, it was me. I want to have something in that carriage to prompt that conversation from them.
Okay, so before I swing down, you want them to notice the thing on the table.
Yes.
So let's. So I love this idea. I'm not no-butting this. I think that letter, that thing, should have gone to both, because they've been in the carriage a bit. Only one of them would have had time to read it. Is the only thing I'd say. Do you want them both to see it? I guess I just want to double check exactly what you want from them.
Oh,
yeah, I want them both.
Okay, no, actually,
no, never
mind.
You want them both to see it. That's fine. Because I'd say that will just go to in both of the letters. I know what you did.
No, I want it to be in the carriage when they get there.
Could we write it dramatically on the wall and then have a light that flickers on, revealing the message?
Yes, that.
Perfect.
Because that's fucking bad.
Sorry, I know I'm being very pedantic about it. It's just like if you see a letter and they both come in having the stand up, it's unlikely they're gonna.
It's got to be
blood on the wall.
It's
I love it so much. I love it so much.
All right.
We know what his handwriting's like because he wrote a note to me.
Well,
where could have done it?
He can do it.
I was going to say, where could have done it?
Yeah.
And you could be in charge of the lights as well from where you are.
So I think, the doctor, I want you to take 3 stress for this. I think this is an excellent play. I'm also going to say, as a consequence as well, is that where your hand is covered in paint. Just so we know. So, I'm not, so we go back to, so let's zoom back forward. So, Belle goes to get the gun. And then suddenly, at a dramatic point, the doctor, you kick like a plug or something, and it sort of lights up, and the light shuts, and they both look at it, and it sees, "I know what you did," and they're both like, "What the?" And then, where?
Yeah.
From what it sounds like, you go down and kick through the window.
Oh, these windows, they've got glass in. I know that for a fact.
Oh,
that's a thing that we remember about windows.
And just to check,
that's a
you are
proper RPG.
You are coming in, and you're trying to get Roderick out of your body. You're not kicking a gun out the way. I just want to check what you're doing. You want to come in, big reveal. Like, what's your plan?
No, I'm not trying to. I'm. Well, I don't know. To be fair, I don't know that he's just pulled a gun on her or whatever. Like, I'm just.
You definitely would. Again,
it sounds like a climax.
You could hear something's about to happen, so you're just coming in.
I'm interrupting.
Okay, you're interrupting.
The lights came on, like it all is happening. Like,
This, to me, it feels like. I'm just trying to. Let me double check. There's a couple of things here. I love this idea. I really love it. I want to make sure I do it justice to you. So I feel this is a. It's not a skirmish. I do think it is a wreck. You're unleashing savage force because you're pushing through this window at super high speed.
Like a window.
Right? I'm going to say, because of the big lighting effect, I know what you did, and ooh, spooky Scrooge entrance, you're going to get a die for that. What I will say is that you I had something and it's completely gone out of my head. It is going to be a desperate action, I think, on that. So you're going to roll XP for that. That was it.
That's nice.
If you fail on this, the gun is still going to go off. It's just going to shoot you.
Yeah, fair. No, that's super fair.
Yeah. Okay, how many dice are you rolling for your wreck?
I've got nothing in wreck, but you've just given me one. So
I've given you one, so it's just rolling
roll.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be a flat roll. 6 is what you need to succeed.
Yeah.
5 and lower.
Else,
It's mixed complicated, so you are going to
getting
take damage.
Shot.
Shamini, is Ware
flashbacks
driving
too.
or is Roderick?
Where is driving? Yeah, no, where is driving? Yeah.
But yeah, for now.
Yeah, and I didn't plan for this because
Why didn't Roderick tell us it was his kids? Idiot. Anyway, sorry.
It's probably irrelevant. I mean,
Feels pretty fucking relevant. Anyway.
Feels pretty fucking relevant. There being a will, that feels relevant.
Feels relevant, yeah.
wait, what's my? I get an extra die for desperate rolls.
Yep.
I get 2.
Yeah, so
No.
you'll have 2 overall.
Yes, so I get.
Yeah,
So I'm
because
rolling 2.
Yes, so before you had nothing, we're giving you 1 for the
Yes, you
cool
gave me
thing,
1,
and then with your special
and then
ability,
I
you
have
get another
the-
1. So it's
Phew,
2d6.
okay,
It's
that's
the
better.
highest.
Double mouths.
I
Needs a
think we could
6.
argue for them being distracted by a big bloody sign on the wall.
Agree.
Would Give her an extra
It's not.
dice.
It's going to succeed regardless. It's just whether or not it's going to get shot.
Okay, I'm rolling 2 dice. 4 and a 5. So close. So close.
Okay. You make it through the thing. You still get shot. The gun goes, what? Bell goes, what's that? And you get in the way, and so you're gonna take another level 2 harm of shot, and you fall to the ground, and you scream out loud because of this pain. And the glass is shooting everywhere. You've got bits of glass on you. And Bell's like, oh my god, what the fuck? And Lysa is already up and is about to start shooting as well. I'm gonna just pan to the other 3 people. What is happening?
I think.
What are you guys doing?
Where's Cuss?
Yeah, where is Cuss? I would have, I think, tucked in with you, to be honest,
fine.
the doc. Because, yeah, I think I have ulterior motives for if we end up in a pickle, wanting to, if I do get some time with you, to chat to you. So I think I would have kind of tried to kind of creep along, maybe in hope of getting a conversation if we need to. And also to kind of be a bit of a bodyguard. And I think as soon as I hear a gunshot, I am just running out of place to go and make sure that everyone's okay.
Yeah, you run, you get to the carriage easily enough. You get up, and you can see that again. It's almost slow motion, this fight now. What is happening? Whereas on the ground, shot in the shoulder, screaming. You can see Belle is sort of confused by what happened, and Lysa's going for her gun as well.
I'm gonna tackle.
That is the picture you've seen.
Tackle Lysa to the ground then.
Tackle Lysa to the ground. Okay. This is a skirmish roll.
Yeah.
It is
violence isn't the answer, Lysa. Take it from me.
It's also, I'm going to say, it's also desperate. As well. So you need a 6. I'm also going to say, because you are stabbed in the shoulder.
Yeah.
It's going to have a reduced effect. So even if you do wrestle her to the ground, she's still going to get a shot off.
Oof.
The negative consequence, if you don't succeed, is that she is going to shoot Belle.
Can I ask?
Oh no, it's not about. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, go, Shamini.
Did Roderick leave my body either when planned when we came in, or when I got shot? And is he visible? And is that enough of a distraction that he is suddenly there?
I'm going to say I'm going to resolve other people's actions first. Okay. I just want to make sure, because yes, the answer is yes, but I wanted to make sure other people had a go of coming into the space. But yes, I'm going to honour that he will be out of the body in a second, but not to affect.
But it won't help Cuff. Yeah, okay.
Not right now. Again, it is bullet time. What is happening?
Yeah, it's all happening at the same time. Thank you though very much, Shamini. That would have. All right. So I still have 2
guns.
Boom, boom, boom. Right. Okay. I have 2 dice still, so we're gonna have a look.
Come on.
We haven't rolled a single 6 yet this session, guys. Just
doesn't look like we have yet either.
It's about time.
Oh, I never know. It adds up to 6. It's a 1 and a 5.
Oh, okay. 5 is all right. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
So what happens is that yes, you do tackle them, but because of your shoulder, you don't manage to wrestle the gun from them, and as a result, the shot goes wide and hits straight into Belle. It sort of pierces up, it sort of goes across their neck, and they sort of grab their neck, and you see the blood starting to spill off the tally marks and stuff like that.
Stab you.
Yeah, sorry.
I think I might just shout, Doc, we're going to need you in here, otherwise we're going to lose someone.
I will pop out. And
a creepy
is Roderick out of where? Because that will affect what I do now.
Let's leave it for a second. If your stuff's to do with Roderick,
it'll be
I just want to make sure the Doc gets to come in. I agree. Doc, are you coming into this situation? Is there anything you're doing? I just want to make sure everyone has a chance to do something before Roderick comes out, because that feels like to me Roderick is last resort at this point. I just want to check.
Can I just confirm who has been hit where?
Where?
Yes.
Where has been shot?
Fucking
I think
name,
in the shoulder as they were coming in, again, sort of Tarzan style, Rogue style, into the glass, and the place is now covered in glass. Belle has also been shot in the neck and is holding up their neck. I think it's like a glancing thing because they got tackled to the ground.
Okay. Okay. So, yes, I think that I wasn't planning on it, but hearing Cuffs shout, I will pop up and Cuffs got Lissa.
I'm gonna I've got her hands pinned down. I'm like literally like this to her face. And we're just like, I've got her down to the ground like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're holding her,
I will step into the train carriage and look at Lissa and just say, death of one family member not enough for you, and then attempt to staunch. Well, I'll go turn to Ware first, being my prop, then just say, "Are you all right?"
No, I got a shot.
Good, fine. And I'm gonna the fact that he's responded, and
you're not dying.
I'm gonna yes, the fact that he's responded coherently shows he's not dying. So I'm going to put pressure. Difficult with a neck wound on the wound.
I'm
wearing a scarf.
You pull out your scarf and you put it there, and because Belle has slumped down to the ground and like has their back, and you are just holding it there, trying to staunch the blood. So, bullet time sort of resolves itself, and Ware is on the floor screaming in agony. But then the voice sort of goes into two tones as another scream comes fully formed. And suddenly, in front of all of you is Roderick, this ghost who has been with you this whole time. Longish hair, sort of scraggly beard, flat cap, sort of like white shirt, braces, with what looked like sort of blood spatter across their neck and stuff. His eyes are completely white. He's screaming in agony at this sort of the scene that he sees. And he sort of looks to Lissa on the ground as she sort of, and she can see his eyes, and he goes, "I knew it. I knew it." Is there anything you're doing, the doll?
Not if he's if he's out, I'm fine. I will stand up. I will pull a gun as well, and I'll aim it at Lissa.
Yeah, guns everywhere.
Yeah,
cool.
I forgot we could have guns. Bang.
Yeah,
not bang. Just pointing.
Yeah,
not bang.
Just to confirm, not bang.
Bang. Not bang. Just
not bang.
Bang. Yeah,
bang.
but not bang.
Not bang.
Yeah. You're holding the gun, and you can see suddenly Lissa and the people holding down Lissa, so both Cuff and the doctor can see it as well, where you're sort of on the ground crying a little bit in agony because of this. It's white hot metal has gone through you. You see Roderick going slowly towards her, and he goes,
God.
"It's family business, isn't it? Sorry, love. You're not up to it." And he's going to go down, and his hand is going to go into her mouth.
No.
Is anyone doing anything?
I'm gonna pull a candle out from my bag.
Gun. Candle.
It was a gun, and then like a little candle.
The candle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And my eyes will go white, and I will try and do what I've been doing with the pigeons on Roderick.
Ooh, okay. I feel that this is going to be an attune roll. I know it's part of your ritual stuff. This is a lot bigger than a pigeon. This is and this is sudden. This is quick.
Yeah.
This is a desperate situation because this, if you do not succeed, and there's several things are going to happen, and I'm going to lay them out for everyone. Firstly, is that Lissa's throat will be crushed and killed by Roderick. I'd also say that another consequence of this is that not only would the crows been wiped out, there is evidence that you have been around Haddock Station, so people will know it is you guys. The final thing I'm going to say is a devil's bargain for you, because I know Emily, the player, does devil's bargains.
I do.
You will get an extra die, but the spirit wardens and the inspectors who have been tailing this whole place and keeping an eye on the crows will turn up. Because of the amount of energy which a spirit is also here and it's been attracted to you for such a long time, but also you doing something with the spirit is a massive PowerPoint in the back of this train yard.
That feels potentially too intense for the devil's bargain.
It is.
What do we think? Team,
You get an
anyone
extra
else
die,
want
but
to
it
weigh
will
in here?
absolutely happen.
That feels like
How many dice have you got?
2. I've got 2 in attune.
I mean, Arison won't mind if Roderick kills Lissa, but having the full extent of the spirit wardens and the inspectors descend seems bad.
But if she dies and we sent them letters and...
We are going to look so suspicious.
Ooh,
and
not right, is it?
We are linked. The inspector saw us in the tattoo parlor with Belle. Like, there is so much linking us. I don't think it's worth
her
it.
dying.
I think I just do the flat too.
I'm wondering whether her dying, which is the risk, is worse than them turning up now, but no one's dead at least.
So you think Devil's Bargain, they turn up, but we're
at least
stopping
we
their
haven't
death.
murdered anyone.
I'm fucking around with spirits. Like,
it's up to you guys. It is a very risky situation.
Yeah.
Don't panic. Don't panic. I know. It's like, what do you do?
Don't panic. This is all I do. Okay, I'm just gonna roll it. I'm gonna do 2. I'm gonna roll it. We haven't had a 6 yet. It's gotta happen.
Yeah, we kind of do one.
Not taking the bargain.
So not taking bargain. That's fine. But the tune stuff. Did I say it was a desperate roll?
You did.
Then fine. It has to be a 6.
Yeah.
The mixed result, I'm just making sure I've got all these things, and I don't want to leave things out, is that, the Lissa will die through the crush of the throat. And there was something else, but it wasn't the inspector stuff. I can't remember. But Lissa will die. That is the major consequence of this.
Could we flash back potentially to make this better?
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking I really want to come out of my body for a bit. And although I don't think the doll would let me, I think maybe in an argument before we leave, I tell the doll that they have to bring their stuff with them, because I really, like, if there's a time, there's an opportunity, we need to, then we need to. And I'm fed up of the doll kind of delaying. So maybe the doll has more of her stuff with her.
Okay, I'll add to it. I think then en route, I went via flicks through notes, Mall and Hall. And I went to speak to one of the professors, and the candle looks slightly different and has some extra runes carved into it. Yeah,
perfect. Okay, I will give you. I'm going to give you the extra die. I could make the effect greater. Okay. That you have more time, but I think the dice roll is the dice roll. That is fine. I just want to double check.
I'm going to use this all black die as my extra one.
You need to get.
Do we take stress?
Oh yeah.
You will get. Yes, I'm gonna. Yeah, both of you would take stress. I'm gonna say 2 stress for this.
Okay.
You got it.
Sorry, I know there's all admin and stuff like that, but I want to make sure I get this right.
No, it's good.
3d6. It is a desperate situation. Make sure you mark XP, Emily.
Yes.
Well.
Just one.
Just one for this desperate roll. And then
It's a 6 on the black die. The others are a 1 and a 2.
We needed it so badly.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's a 6. It looks. It's really hard to read that die, but it's
okay. What do you do to stop Roderick killing his daughter, and presumably banishing him?
I'm not trying to banish him.
I'm leaving it to you. What do you do?
So I have the gun on Lissa, and then I just pull out the candle. My eyes turn white, and as my eyes turn white, the flame of the candle just burns into this bright white light. And I want his soul to just get his spirit to get sucked into the candle. So the last thing is his hand like on the throat, and he just sort of slowly loses the grip on it, and it all just sort of goes into the candle, and then I just blow the candle out.
Oh, so sexy.
You can see, again, the way he sort of holds onto it. It's almost like he starts to be lifted by the force of this candle. You can see if he had nails, he would maybe, just that marking of her. And he gets pulled back.
Not worth it. And, yeah. And then I will keep the gun on Lissa.
Mm-hmm. And I've still got Lissa pinned, but at this point I'm probably like panting and being like, are you gonna move, or are you happy here? Because it could get a lot worse for you, I reckon.
She sort of is not moving. She's busy sort of panting and breathing quite hard.
I think he's not a happy man.
I think you should say thank you.
How's Belle doing?
Yeah.
Let's do a quick check, because you're staunching the blood. I think, because you are a doctor, you're good at doing this. Like, he will need medical attention. Whether you give it to him or you drop it off at the hospital is another thing beside the point. But I do think we need to make something. Let me just double check.
So I can attempt to stabilize someone who just suffered a mortal injury.
Hey-o.
That
As
sounds
part
good.
of my physica
that's your
trait.
Sounds useful.
What does that have to be?
Yeah, it's my physica ability.
Yeah. What do you have to roll for it, my friend?
Unfortunately, that's not clear.
Okay.
It says I can tinker with bones, blood, bodily humors to treat wounds. You can attempt to stabilize someone who's just suffered a mortal injury. You can study a poison, malady, or corpse.
Okay. I think the word there is study. Was that sort of thing. I'm just trying to think of stabilize. I'm just trying to make it easy for you. What are you good in? Again, we want to make this relative.
I mean, my best stats are study and tinker. So
okay. Well, you're not tinkering because you're not
Tinkering with the body. Stop that blood.
Put your finger in. Yeah. I think this is going to be a study. I'm going to say this will probably take you out of the action for the rest of the scene because you're going to concentrate on this.
I think it is tinker. It doesn't matter. I've got the same mind in both, but I feel like studying is looking at something, looking for clues, trying to put things together, and tinkering is actually the doing of the thing.
If it's the same thing, we'll say tinker. That's fine. You're going to be taken out of the rest of the scene because you're going to concentrate on this person, keeping them alive. I believe that's what your goal is. It's no longer desperate because you've got rid of guns, you've got rid of the ghost for now. So you've got a bit of time as to what you're going to be focusing on. Is there anything else you would like to do? Because I assume you've got 2 in tinker to staunch the blood.
I do, yeah. We still haven't heard a confirmation out loud from either person saying that they have killed them.
That's why I wasn't happy for the death, you know?
No.
So my condition, in the same way that I suppose we just saved Lissa's life for the same reason, is that I want to keep Belle alive until it seems like we've got a reason not to.
100%.
Because in my head and in the doc's head, they're thinking we've got a scene here where we have got, if Belle dies and Lissa is here and has the murder weapon in her hand, she pulled that trigger, then this could be a family split, a leadership scuffle, but at the moment we need to keep Belle alive until we hear somebody say, "I killed Roderick."
Agreed.
That is fine. Just roll your tinker. Just 2d6. The consequence of this is that Roderick doesn't have enough blood and will bleed out on this if you fail badly. On a mixed success, I was going to say, on a mixed success, you'll be able to keep him, but he will need medical attention soon. I just want to set those things. Like, he's not going to be cured. He will be able to talk, but he'll be very weak. Yeah.
But you'll have to take him to the vet.
Do you have an item or something that can help you with this? Because you got 2d6, so that's not too bad. But is there anything else?
Yeah. Can I give him some sort of coagulant? Something that will make him will slow, or possibly even something to slow his heart rate so that he is pumping blood out at a slower. So give him something to make him bleed. My issue is I'm not medically trained myself. You might know.
I love both of those.
I think you would have medical supplies on you anyway. Because you are a doctor. Weirdly, you are a doctor. So I think what I'd say, I'm not going to give you an extra die for it because I'm going to give you greater effect. So only on a 1 will he die. Anything else, you will staunch the blood. He will be able to talk, but you will need to take him to a hospital. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to outright he's gone, etc. Okay.
Thanks, Fiona.
It's okay. Try my best.
That's 2 4s.
Okay. So yeah, you're holding on, and he's struggling to speak, but he's not bleeding out. He's focusing on you. And he's holding your hand to his throat, so he clearly wants to live as well. He's not, and he's looking to Lissa, looking to the rest of you, looking towards where the candle was that the doll was holding, and he's just it's very finding it hard to speak, etc. So he's not giving anything away, and you know that it's only a matter of time before you have to get him seen to by something. But he's not dead, so you've got him stable for now. I say with the physical roll. But he will need absolutely medical attention, so you might not be able to speak to him necessarily. Where you are on the ground. You are fine. The bullet has gone weirdly straight through.
I'm not fine. I got shot.
I know. Is there anything you're doing? Just want to make sure you got something to do.
I'm just crying to myself.
Cry?
No one
Okay,
cares, I
crying
got
is
the
always
shot.
a free action, Shamini. I will
Thanks.
never make you roll for it,
Thanks.
so. So, what is it that you folks are planning to do? Is again, I'm just thinking of downtime and what time we've got left, so I might just end the scene. But
Yeah.
it sounds like you want to make sure
We want one of them to say something.
something.
I'm going to
Okay.
keep pointing the gun
Okay,
at Listen.
I feel like
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
If you talk to
I was gonna
Lissa-
and be like, start talking.
It seems that my friend here, with both the ability to control your father's spirit and a gun to your head, holds your life in her hand, where I hold your brother's. So somebody needs to start talking.
Looks to you, Doctor. And suddenly we sort of flash back, it's not mechanically, we flash back to that sort of thing where the positions were reversed, in a sense that she was just there having an oyster, seeing possibly a little bit of panic in your eyes, and you are now seeing the panic in her eyes a little bit. And she looks to her
Good.
brother, looks to the door, she goes, I've heard stories about you, Doctor. How people insult you or make a pass or something at you and you fix them.
If you've heard stories, you'll know what happens to those that make a fool of me.
I do.
Would you like your fingers sewn on somewhere they shouldn't be?
Why don't we do a deal? She looks to Belle. Kill him. And maybe I can find you some of our contacts and you can have a little bit of our payload when we do our little jobs. We could be good teams, you and I.
It seems like you're not in the strongest position to bargain at the moment. We could leave both of your bodies here and take up your crew's position in the city.
What did my father offer you? There's much
Don't
more
know
than
why that's
of
any
that.
of your concern.
No. Secretive man, my father. That's why he didn't want either of us to take over.
And so you made sure that you did, I guess.
I got tired of waiting.
Naturally. It seems that you go after what you want with rather pointed intent.
The Crows works so much better now. We're organised. None of this fucking peace in Crow's Foot. Anyone with their little squabbles. My father insisted that we had to work together, but there's no point in working together when you can have a much larger piece of the pie if everyone else is distracted with their own hunger, their own pain.
You showed excellent teamwork when you killed him.
I'm not going to say it until you guarantee my safety. And you kill him, frame him. I'll give you what you want.
Doc, if you want me to maybe practice violence in a more appropriate way, I'd be happy to give that a go right now. I could do with letting off some steam, but I'll wait for the word from you.
Can we please flash back?
Mhm.
Just before I finish this conversation, to the walk over here.
Yep.
And can we be having a conversation, because I feel like we kind of haven't, about what we want, how we want this to end up. Obviously, we kind of have. We've got our murderer. Like we've fulfilled that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I think we need to have a discussion on the way to the station.
Yeah.
As much as I think we should have this discussion, where I'm really sorry, but you are holding Roderick in your body.
Oh, do I have to go away again?
You have to hang back a bit, I'm afraid.
Okay, I'll just be here by myself because no one wants Ware around.
It's not you, it's the weird
Fine.
spirit in your
Nobody wants you.
head.
Have other uses.
Look.
I think this takes place when Ware is daubing. I know what you do.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, we all take a step back and
Yeah.
just while
And,
he's
and
doing
you're
that.
like,
Molly's-
otherwise it's mirror writing, you know.
Like,
I
sticking my
don't
head.
trust this ghost.
No, me neither. And from the sounds of it, neither of these people are good people. Look, these spirit wardens have been following us. What if we let the ghost out and then leave them tied up for the spirit wardens and they can do the explaining to them?
They'll just name us.
We're not there with the body. We're not there with the
Terms-
ghost.
In terms of crew makeup and everything else like that, so Roderick brokered the peace, didn't he, between the lampblacks and the red sashes and the crows. So that is good for us, for everyone to keep getting along.
Peace is good. Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, what Lissa just said to me. I mean, Arison, full disclosure, will not want to do that. They do not like Lissa.
Yeah.
But there's not even an angle where that's a sensible choice, crew and reputation and things wise, right?
Emily's got nothing. I've got nothing here. I don't.
I think I'll put it to you straight in the sense of things. So Roderick, you're right. Roderick brokered the peace between the lampblacks and the red sashes. With his murder, everything was thrown into chaos because he was the one keeping the peace, and as a result, the crows rose to the top. I think if it is revealed that what happened was from the crow's own doing and not necessarily one of the lampblacks or red sashes, it is actually from in-house, then maybe people will put aside their differences. Like Roderick, to him, this was the most important thing, was keeping the peace. It's about community and whatnot. And saw an opportunity when you were sort of helping out Bazos Baz, that maybe an outside influence could help in this situation. Now, whether or not you want to keep Lissa and account for her crimes or kill her or anything, I'll leave that up to you. But I think whatever the result is, that the crows will be severely weakened with the reveal that the murder of Roderick has been, whether or not it is actually them or pinned on them, that is going to cause a big reference. And so these other two maybe will join forces and peace will be back again.
Okay.
It is whether
Cool.
and I understand the reason about like, but if we leave them alive, they'll say that there's got shots, they've gunshots, there's been violence and stuff. The crows, there's only so much they can dob you guys in it when they are at the scene of the crime themselves.
I would also
so
like to put forward a suggestion, even though I'm not there.
Mm,
Shamini would like to put
please
forward a
do, yeah.
suggestion that the Harriers in general maybe not so killy, and maybe there is the general agreement that we don't kill her on purpose, and that maybe Arison does not necessarily say anything about that, and this might be a time for Arison to make their own decision.
Absolutely.
Fine. Okay.
Yeah, so I think we vaguely agreed that we wouldn't kill, but we maybe would leave, if everything was sort of getting to a point, we would tie them up and maybe leave the ghost with them. And Roderick can go and possess who he wants and do what he wants when he has his answers.
Okay.
And then we just get out.
Fine. Okay. Unflashback.
And flashback.
I'm going to use that as we're not going to take any damage or anything from that. I think that's an important one just to establish in general.
Our boundaries and things, yeah.
So you
Okay,
know then, Doc, when I say I'm ready to use violence whenever you're ready, that I'm kind of bluffing. You know that because of that conversation.
Yeah. Great. Okay. And I kind of jerk my head towards Belle, whose neck I'm obviously holding with their sort of blood coming through my fingers and say, "And what does he have to do with this?"
Well, Fiona, we can't hear you right
Fiona,
now.
we can't hear you.
Alyssa?
Okay.
Oh, there you are.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. I was saying, he's just a gullible little daddy's boy, isn't he? Always wants to impress him.
So he took no part in this.
Oh, he took part 'cause I told him to.
I'm going to look in his eyes for confirmation.
It looks like there's truth there.
Double murder. Double murderers.
Cuff, would you be so kind as to tie Miss Lissa to the carriage?
Happily. And I begin to tie her up. I kind of look to where the dot points. I just begin to tie her up.
I'm going to take. I'm gonna. I assume there's a fabric cover on the seats. Okay, I'm going to tear a bit of the fabric off the sort of balconette seating that there was on there, and tie an additional staunch round Belle's neck so that I can remove my hand, and then step away, and then look at the others, put my hand on Ware's shoulder, and just say, "I think Alistair needs medical attention, and it's probably our time to go."
Sounds about right. The doll will take the candle and place it in between where the two are tied up, and sort of reach their hand out and sort of have the flame begin to like smoulder, like not fully burn, and just go, "We should go. There's going to be an angry ghost very shortly." And then she'll just sort of whisper into the candle, "Roderick, it was both of them. Let's go."
Okay. You all sort of rush or limp out of the carriage. And again, maybe the camera sort of stays on this carriage as the light starts to fill the carriage. And
as I turn, I'm gonna sort of hold Ware out and sort of pass him down towards Cuff, probably because she's the biggest and strongest, and sort of wait for them to file out, and I'm gonna leave last and just be like, I'm gonna hold her on her chin and say, "Enjoy some daddy-daughter time," and I'm going to take a vial of poison and put a couple of drips into her ear before I go, please.
Yeah, easy enough. She sort of like lets you do it, defiant to the end, not letting you have this little parade. And she goes, "It's much worse. It's much worse than you think."
What is?
I had a look in the wine cellar before I left.
Much wine in there, was there? Stores running low, business not doing well.
You see the sort of like bits of like black ichor start to pack up and goes, "Give my regards to the stranger."
Fuck off. Fuck off.
And the sort of the black ichor starts to come out, and she starts to shake and
Cannot be good.
I'm going to say to her before, as I sort of step down out the carriage, I'll say, "Slow acting, so you can watch him die first."
she just laughs. roughly as you
And
get
then
past
I'll leave.
roughly as you get past platform 1 next to the Duskvol version of Pret. Let's
Pumpkin Cafe.
Yeah, Pumpkin Cafe. Bull. Let's quickly end the heist. Well done, team.
I think we did a
Maybe
good
so.
job,
I
maybe?
think we
Question mark?
Maybe did.
Sort of, maybe.
Possibly.
Kind of.
No one died, I don't think. I think everyone's going to be fine.
Yeah, I think
That's
they'll
the
all
last
be
thing
okay.
I heard.
Died?
We didn't necessarily do it that we're
I don't remember anyone dying.
aware of. I don't remember anyone
Harrison
being
did.
dead. So,
So,
Me neither.
no.
So let's go quickly into XP and downtime and all that sort of stuff. So XP stuff. Let me do. Oh, I never have it to hand. Excuse me 1 second. But people can do their XP on their character sheets as well. So make sure you've marked it if you did desperate actions and whatnot. Make a note of that. If anyone wants to argue for stuff that they did, like, oh, it's bad in my background or this, please say away whilst I
I
look for the
think
crew stuff.
I embodied a core nature of my playbook by fucking around with spirits. I also believe that I expressed my beliefs, heritage, or background by going to the hall and getting the extra weird ritual stuff carved into the candle. So I
Absolutely,
would
that's
like 2 extras, please.
You get 2 XP. What I'd say is that it doesn't have to be about this session. You also have last session as well, because it's still the full session. So don't panic if you can't think of something. You definitely would have done something.
I think
yeah,
I
have a
embodied
think.
my core nature of my playbook as well by coercing and being violent.
Nice. Sounds good.
I definitely used technical skill and mayhem.
Yep.
And medical stuff.
Admin. Yep.
And I think I expressed my background of not liking other people doing stuff to me.
Mm-hmm.
Fushu.
None of my roles were desperate, were they? So I can't have anything for that.
I don't believe so. No. And where? Just to check.
Hello.
Yeah.
What's
Did you
the
have
question?
anything? XP. I'm asking for XP from your
I did
character.
two. I got
playbook.
2 harm and one desperate roll, so I think 3.
Yes. Oh, yes, of
Oh,
course. Because
do you
if
get-
you get harm,
Is that
yes,
only
you get
where
har-
that gets that?
One
Uh,
harm
that's-
or it impedes you. It says actually. which I
Oh,
didn't have.
I've had that
Your heart.
twice. That's happened to
Yeah.
me twice.
Oh, I get another one.
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
got a
So anytime
harm.
your harm levels impede you as well, then yeah, you get an XP.
Yeah,
as that.
I did that
just say
twice.
It's me,
Sweet.
not really.
Oh, when it impedes you, not when
When
it
impedes you,
happens.
it's when you get
Yeah.
consequences.
Sorry,
when you
in which
couldn't
case I
shoot-
didn't
when you
have
couldn't
any-
shoot
I
because
didn't.
you.
I had to do
yeah.
2
Correct.
rolls
Yeah.
with 1 less die
Yeah,
because of my
yeah,
silly
yeah.
shoulder.
Okay,
Perfect.
so I don't have that. That's fine.
Great. Okay. Cool. And just to check with yourself, where anything in terms of like beliefs, background, or anything like that. You technically had a conversation with Petra at the beginning of last session when you talked about your sort of kind of talked around the background stuff a little bit. If you want to include that.
Question.
Mhm.
I filled in a clock on my XP. I've got 6.
Yes.
So
Amazing.
can I put a new
Yeah.
dot in something?
So you can do if that's in your downtime. If you wish to use
Okay.
it, it's a downtime activity.
Yes.
And yeah, what I'm saying, and again, just to clarify for people viewing at home, normally it is 2 clocks worth 12 XP, but because we've got such a short amount of time, I've reduced it to 1 clock, so you can get you can use that, and then we use a montage in that sort of sense for that. And I know when anyone says it, I know the XP stuff. Oh, it's like 1 to 4 clocks. I'm just doing 1 clock, so we do not have time to do stuff. So yeah,
Short
absolutely.
series.
But that'll be in your downtime. You choose an action to do the training for that. Okay, then just moving on quickly to the crew playbook in terms of XP. So, did we, in this heist, the whole of it, did we acquire product, execute clandestine sales, or secure new territory?
Maybe more new territory if the crows are going to disappear a bit.
I'm not sure we've secured it though.
Not secured, I guess. Yeah, no. So,
No, so I'd say no. Now, second thing, did you contend with challenges above your current station?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, absolutely.
yeah.
And I think this happened multiple times, so you're going to get another 2 XP for that. Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? I think you bolstered it. I think you could have easily sort of let what happened at the tattoo parlor and at the sidearm public house and gone, oh, we just need to find out Rodrigo. But you've actually said, put 2 fingers up to both people and have basically taken off the head of the crows as a result. It'd been very risky, but it shows that you're not to be messed with. So yeah, I think that's another one there. And then finally, express the goals, drives, inner conflict, and nature of the crew, which is vice dealers, as a sort of general thing. I'm just saying no, because it's not really
really
connected
vice
to what you were
dealers,
doing. But that's also the nature of the heist as well. I asked you to investigate a murder rather than dealing in vice. So that's fine. Okay, so I believe that's free XP for the crew stuff. And the crew XP can also be used to upgrade stuff as well. Maybe we'll do that off stream again. I don't want to worry people just now because there's a lot to think about. All right. Now, moving on from XP, we're going to start the beginning of downtime. So downtime is a little bit different this time, thanks to version 1.1 of the new Blades in the Dark deep cuts. Instead of doing Fallout first, we're going to do the payoff first, which totally makes more sense, and I don't know why we've not done it earlier. So, in terms of payoff, we're going to get 4 coins per PC, so that's going to be 4 coins to begin with. Oh, sorry, 1 coin per PC, so that's 4 coins. Sorry, yeah, I know, I got too excited then for a moment, because I was like, we did it. And
We're
then
rich!
And then we're also going to get some more coin equal to the target's number times 3. Now, let me just double check what the crow's tier is. I don't think it's that high.
Boo.
It's like a
I'm
10,
sorry.
I think. Like
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're like
10.
20.
Yeah, they were real badasses, weren't they? We just took
them
down like
we
it
just
was
absolutely
nothing.
destroyed them. Yeah.
Yeah, no problems
Absolutely.
there.
Easy
Don't remember any
peasy
problems.
lemon squeezy for the Harriers.
Sorry, I was sat here earlier and you're like, what did we do? We've punched an old lady. Oh no.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't remember
Yeah,
that
I don't
bit.
remember any of that,
No.
yeah.
Okay.
Fiona, you're
fine.
hallucinating again. Yeah.
They are tier 2. So 2 times 3 is
6.
6. So in total, you're getting 10 coin from this. And that coin is the stash. And what I'm going to say to justify it is that you forced Roderick to write down where this stash was before you left the hideout. Because you said
Yeah.
like, we need guarantee of this. We've done so much so far. So you have, that's where you get the stash from. And when I say coin, it could be a whole number of things. And because you've got a lot of coin between you, I know you're going to use some of it to spend for vices and all that sort of thing. You can invest it in stuff. You can use it to pay for crew advances, etc. And again, maybe we'll do that off stream.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to not waste time. I don't want to worry people with like making decisions right now.
Talk about it at the
Cool.
start of the next episode.
Mhm.
Yes,
Say
exactly.
what we
Comes
did,
into it,
yeah.
right. But the big question I always like to ask is, of course, the tithe. So because you're a tier 2 or lower, you pay a tithe to the ward box, which you remember is the race. Currently you're evil footing, but it says here, pay 1 coin for every 4 coin you earn from the score. So currently it would be 2 coin to them. Do you pay it?
I think it might be worth paying it right now.
Me too.
I think we're in a weird place, and I think we should pay it.
Okay.
Thoughts, feelings?
Yeah,
I agree.
We've basically knocked one gang off their perch. Probably should not
Yeah,
go
we
for
should
another one in the same
add
week.
a target to our backs at the same time.
Oof.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
almost like
pay it.
you use the stick to hit one, but then give a carrot to the other to show that you
Yeah,
are nice
exactly.
guys after all.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So yeah, again, we won't need to roleplay it out. There's a quick sort of
That
exchange of
also
hands.
Makes
Yeah.
it really nice because the 6 coins we have to share come down to 4, and then we get another 1 each, basically. So that's actually just it makes the maths
Very
easier.
tight,
So it
just
makes
tidy.
sense. Yeah.
Gotta love it when the taxes work out.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So yeah, easy enough. You hand off the money to the wraiths. They're like, pleasure doing business with you, and that is that. We now go to the Fallout. So we won't do the adjustment status stuff because again I do that off stream. But let's talk about heat, shall we? So was this a smooth, low exposure operation?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it in.
It was
in-
pretty
in
low
a-
exposure.
Very low exposure.
Only the second part.
Yeah.
The first
Oh, yeah,
part
the
was quite
first
high
part maybe
exposure.
wasn't. But
Oh
I
wait,
think
the
it's still
first part,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was there not a fight in a tattoo bar?
I don't remember
I
that.
in a
remember there
tattoo parlour
being
with one
we got
witness.
stabbed and then a smoke bomb went off, so I don't
How
really
strange.
think
Very
And it-
stealthy.
It was a
Yeah.
fight
Very
with
stealthy.
one
Smoke is
witness
stealth.
and a conversation. That's the only things that have been seen.
One witness who was an inspector who is not
was
corruptible.
unfair.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna take
Okay,
in
2
between the
witnesses.
2 and give you 1 heat for it.
Fair, valid.
I do agree.
We'll
It
take
wasn't
that.
as exciting in the sense of like explosion stuff from last time, but it was. You weren't sneaky silenty because there was a fight. I'd say.
Yeah. Those
Alright.
gunshots.
How well connected or high profile was the target?
Pretty.
So I would
Edith?
say Roderick was well known, but it's been a month, and Lissa and Belle were sort of struggling. They might not have been as well known to the general criminal stuff because you had to find some information out about them.
Hmm.
So I'm going to give you another heat for it, just another 1 heat for it. So They are not well connected. They were establishing themselves in that sort of sense, trying to take over. Now here's my favourite one. Did we have open combat? Did we have destruction and or mayhem? And were we at war with another faction? We're not at war with another faction yet.
No.
But what do
And
we
no
think about
destruction or
open
mayhem.
destruction or mayhem? Open combat?
Not open being
Not super open.
In a
Combat,
tattoo
yes.
parlor
Yeah.
behind
but
little
in the little
curtains.
carriage. Like, it wasn't really combat. We kind of fucked them up real quick, and it was done. You know.
And you were like, smoke bomb, gone.
There was combat though, in the sense that
But not
combat
open. Like,
happened.
again, I think because
like
it's
not
a
brawling
tattoo
in the street.
parlour
Yeah.
compared to the sidearm public house, I think that's
Yes.
the difference.
yeah.
Because obviously, if it was open there in a neutral territory, then that would be different. So I agree. For once, you're going to get no heat from open combat and destruction or mayhem. That is wild.
Progress, growth.
We're doing
Well,
better.
You say that. Did a death occur in connection to the score?
No.
No,
No, not yet.
No,
Not yet. Not
No.
yet.
No,
And
not
cannot
yet.
be proved.
No, you can't. You haven't done it yet.
I don't
Fiona,
remember
so
any
I think-
death.
I remember no death. So if you take that up, we'll all be weird. We'll be like, what? Why?
Why have we got heat? Nobody died.
Yeah.
They-
Why are people
they
being
did,
weird about it?
Fiona. They actually did.
And if they do
Are
die,
there-
it's probably in the future when we're far away.
Yeah, we were nowhere near that.
Is there any evidence left behind or witnesses willing to talk?
Maybe a
No
little bit,
witnesses.
Yeah.
No witnesses.
No witnesses. Well, we don't know.
think-
Belle might be a witness.
I think
Mm.
there was people in the public house who saw
yeah.
the doctor talk to Lissa the night
Yeah.
before,
She
or the night
just
of
did.
this happening.
That I will
But
concede.
That's fair. Yeah,
That-
that is.
I'm just,
we
I'm
had a
just again
chat.
being.
They saw us
Yeah, I
having
think you
a
had that
chat.
chat. Yeah,
And-
absolutely.
The letters
And now
might
she's
be-
probably never being seen again, and that's fine.
The only evidence I would say that was definitely left by you guys
Candle.
was I know what you did. However,
In Roderick's handwriting.
with somebody smashing through the glass, it just goes, I know, and it's gone.
Did.
No, yeah, did is gone. so I'm gonna say
I did
can
leave
get an extra
the
one.
candle.
you're gonna get another one,
Okay.
just because the witnesses saw the doctor talking to it. But I think everything else,
Okay.
circumstantial. There's
Yeah.
nothing that's necessarily
Yeah,
tying
yeah.
you guys to
Just a
it.
candle.
You got
I'm
Roderick to
not
do it.
entirely opposed to us literally calling the inspectors and tipping them off that
Honestly,
they're there.
yeah.
Maybe we can do that then. So and then that's it in terms of fallout. So how much heat have you got as a result of that? Is that 3?
I
I
was
think.
not counting at the same time.
I think it was 3.
I think it was 3. I'll watch the tape back.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 3. So
3
you had
sounds
3 heat to add to your crew.
Yeah.
Which I think because you had a clean slate from last time, it's just 3 heat.
Oh yeah,
you
sweet.
don't-
Wiped it. Of course we did.
With lovely jail.
Jail.
Yeah, with lovely jail.
A little
we
jail
all-
trip every now and again is great. How
Wasn't
useful.
great. The
Cleansing
food
for
was
the
bad.
soul.
I
You
don't
know?
I
want
think
to go back
we
to
all
prison.
equally contributed to wiping that
Aw.
slate. Yeah.
The next thing I'm going to do quickly,
Just keep
'cause again,
sending
just wear
word
of
to
time,
prison.
is that so there's something called now the cost of doing business, which is something in basically you can pay 1 coin per heat to reduce it up to the maximum of your tier. So that's going to be all the way down to 1. So you can pay 3 coin to reduce the heat if you would like to. Just wanted to check with that if that's what you want to do.
I think 3's fine, right?
3's
It's
fine.
just a little ember of heat. It's not like a blazing fire of heat.
Agreed.
And then finally,
Just
in
make
terms of
just enough to make us sound cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You've got
Oh,
a
yeah.
bit of heat. You've got to be a bit cool.
Yeah.
and in terms of reputation to add to it as well, I know we've not done much in terms of reputation. Maybe we'll do something about it next time. You're going to get 1 reputation plus 1 per target per tier of the target above you, which is another 2. So you're going to get 3 reputation from this
Woo.
as well.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
3
Don't worry about entanglements. We'll sort that out. Let's go then. Just double checking everything else. Cool. Let's go then to your actual downtime, your activities yourself. So remember, you can do 2 downtime activities for free, along with indulging your vice, which will, if you do that, you pay 1 coin to get rid of all of your stress. If you overindulge, which is if you've got 6 or more stress, you overindulge, and then we'll do a little scene about that. Again, very small and minute. And then the other things you can do in terms of activities, again, just a quick reminder, you've got acquiring a resource, recovering. Some of you have some level 2 wounds at the moment. I'll go into healing in a second. We've got training, so yeah, training yourself up, spending those XP clocks. Doing the work, something that Ware was doing, I think, at the first episode, where you're doing an extra bit of coin or whatnot, getting a bit more information, etc. But also working on a clock as well, your long-term project. In terms of healing, so if you've got a level 1 harm, it goes away at the end of the heist.
Okay, it just goes.
So that goes
Yeah.
away. Yeah, it just goes, because that's more like you're roughed up or something like that.
Yeah.
If you have a level 2 harm, you're going to have to take time to heal it. So I believe, don't quote me on this, you must use, oh no, it's level 3, ignore me. You can use one of your things, when you recover, you just fill in your clock. Let me just double check. You gain ticks on your healing clock equal to your cruise tier plus 1. You're currently at tier 0, so you get 1 tier. If you want to work on it, you've got the Physica as well. So you can... Let me finish before you ask me something. When the healing fills up, you reduce that instance of harm. It just heals it automatically. So all of your clocks, I believe, have 4 things in it. So that just make a note of that. Lou, please.
In downtime, use the recover activity to act as a physica for those who recover, including yourself, with quality equal to your tinker rating.
Okay, so you
is
get 2 instead. Yeah, so it'll be 2
So I can
instead.
fix up level 2 harm.
Great.
That'd be great.
But yeah, I'm guessing that, again, this is just you wouldn't be able to do that for everyone who's got level 2. Like, you'd have to take a lot of, maybe you'd even take one of your own actions to do it. If you see what I mean. So they could take an action to heal. But like, I'm just saying, like, if you were like, oh, well, I want to help somebody else, make sure they're full.
Yes, so I would take the recover action.
I see.
Make them recover as one of my.
Yeah, increase their recovery. Okay, fine. Yeah. But yes, so absolutely. So you can heal it up quicker, but you might not be fully healed by the start of the next mission. Is what I'm trying to say. Great. Okay. So that, I know that's a lot of stuff, but has anyone got any thoughts about what they want to do in terms of like their vice stuff or downtime activity?
Well, should we start with that?
Yeah, I would quite like to heal as much as I can. And also probably, I mean, if I have another action as well, I would probably be wanting to talk to the doctor about it anyway.
Perfect. Well, let's do that scene then. So let me just get this right. So the doctor, you're going to use the recover as on one of your actions to recover Cuff. And so they're going to get 2 into their healing clock, right?
If you'd like to. There's no pressure. It's up to you.
I had planned to.
Okay. So just frame up that scene, and it will probably go into that in the second downtime, or that downtime activity for Cuff at the beginning. So that's what do we see, Doctor and Cuff?
I mean, I've got a big gash kind of coming in my left shoulder. How would you want to operate on me a little bit? Probably just need some stitches, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, I think chronologically, I've probably, and I will do this with my other action, is I will use the recover action on Shamini, and also fix up where. But unless you have a particular need or want for a scene, Shamini, I might just start have yours happen off screen, and as you're kind of sorry.
Can you do it twice?
Well, we've got 2 actions, don't we?
Actions,
Plus
right? Great.
Vice.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. I guess it's just making sure that the doctor didn't want to do anything else, because I know you've been working on your clock. Is the only thing I was going to say. But if you're happy,
don't mind not being continually harmed. If well, I will be anyway because I'm on my clock. But
no, it's fine. We'll sort you out. Right. So, like, as where kind of stumbles out of my laboratory, and I've possibly not been as gentle as I could have been, and sent him on his way. I think Cuff is kind of waiting at the top of the stairs. You say, Holly, and then I say, is it your ticket already?
Yeah. Honestly, I get a bit nervous around hospitals and stuff. Just a little bit, but don't usually like going in them. Never been.
That's fair. People tend to die there.
Yeah, I don't like that. But it should be pretty open and shut, I reckon, or more shut. It's a bit open right now.
And this is a library, so it's totally fine.
Yeah, except I've not been in this bit of it before. Usually leave you to it.
Well, I don't like dirty feet walking through it.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah, let's.
We'll go downstairs and I'll gesture for her to sit up on the. And I'll wash my hands and start getting things out.
I've been meaning to talk to you about something else, actually. Something I thought might be useful for both of us. I've been wanting to test spark in a controlled scientific environment.
Well, that is both unexpected and intriguing. You've caught my attention.
I think it could be useful, but I don't want to. I used to lose control a bit. That's the thing, and I want to make sure I don't do that. So I wondered if there was a scientific method where we could test that, but we could be sure I wasn't going to hurt anyone.
Your body or your mind?
I only am afraid of hurting other people's bodies.
No. The control. You lost control of your body or your mind?
My mind.
Because of?
I was feeling very angry. And yeah, when you lose control of your mind, your body
Follows
your
suit.
body, yeah.
And this anger comes
I'm working
from
on it.
A natural place.
Yeah. It comes from something really reasonable, but it's I keep hurting other people, so I need to stop that.
And you suspect that the spark will help with that?
I suspect if I can overcome the spark, maybe I can use it to help people if I'm stronger, and also be able to keep control of my mind while I do it, you know?
Well, something I've been doing
Yeah.
is looking at the compound itself and seeing its effect on rodents and the such. I must say that having a live subject is certainly something that would speed along research purposes.
I would love to help. If there's anything I can do, honestly, I'll be a guinea pig. I don't mind.
A willing guinea pig. What a gift.
Yeah. Well, you've done things that I've done, and you you don't mind too much anymore. How's it
Very
looking?
well.
My shoulder.
It is relatively clean. Hypodermic, wasn't it, that struck you?
Yeah, it was.
Yes. So it is deep and ugly, but it's not going to do anything permanently, I wouldn't think. But I would recommend not punching any old ladies in the face for a while. Make it worse.
Yeah, I'll try. Maybe you can help me with that. Fix me inside
Do my
now.
best.
You know?
I shall take notes.
All right. So, yeah, heal 2 segments of your clock. And the same for wear, I understand it, Doctor. And those are your 2 downtimes, I'm just checking.
They are.
Cool.
Your...
Sorry.
Is that 2 segments plus the one from the crew? Just 2 total.
You're just doing 2 segments.
Okay.
If you're gonna use one of your downtime things, then you would then
Okay.
do another one. Yeah,
Okay,
don't worry.
cool.
Just to check with the doctor, are you going to indulge in your vice?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm quite stressed. And also, I've had to be nice to people and fix them up. So
yeah.
I think
All
we
right.
need to have some time of not it being that.
Spend a coin and just quickly paint the scene in terms of like what you're doing. Oh wait, of course. Sorry, I was like, how much stress do you have?
How much stress do I have?
Mm-hmm.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Fiona's so happy.
Uh-oh.
Stress.
What's happened?
Punching
Seven's
No.
fine.
Let me find
9's
it.
maximum.
It's not fine. It means you overindulge.
Yes, that is exactly it. I just want to double check.
Why does it mean that?
Because you
6
got
and
to
over,
7 stress.
apparently. If your
You get
stress level
more.
is 6 or more, you overindulge and you have to roll on a table of overindulgence. I also
What
got
pa-
7.
You got 7. So you
I
think
Because of the
your
food, I
version.
have
But that's
5,
when
not
you-
6.
But that's when you... Sorry, I'm confused, but I'm also possibly thinking about Old Blades in the Dark rules.
You are probably thinking of Old Blades in the Dark.
You
Normally,
used to have to roll to get rid of stress, and if you rolled higher than the stress
Yep.
you had, you overindulged.
Yeah, now it's you don't roll normally, but if it's 6 or more, you just automatically.
We're getting rid of all
overindulge.
dice stuff in the thing. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I can't. Let me just double check. So I just want to get that table up for me. So yeah, if you roll a d6 and tell me what you get on that, you'll still get rid of all your stress. You pay the coin, but it's again, it just gives us a little taster, a little prompt.
That's a 3.
3. Okay, give me a second, as I'm desperately trying to find. Where did it go? Does anyone have the table to hand? I seem to have missed it. I'll have it somewhere. Don't worry. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. 3 is you brag about your exploits, which will get a +1 heat to the team.
Okay, I know that.
Person on the table.
Yeah.
Then I had to be nice to people.
Yeah.
It's awful.
And then she bloody poisoned me. Ugh. Anyway, go
Okay,
on, Lou,
can
go on,
I
Lou.
slightly re-flavor that? But they had to have the same effect.
It's going to have the same effect. Whatever it is, it's going to be a +1
Yeah.
heat to the crew. So
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, that's fine. Tell me what it is.
I think, yeah, because I think it's a kind of excess of emotion, not necessarily a brag. I think as I'm at the barge one evening, you see a figure, a hooded figure who is strapped to a whipping cross, and you can see, and you sort of join it. The camera kind of comes in medias res, where it's obviously clearly been happening for a while. You can see the strain of exertion on Arison's face and the kind of sweat going down their brow as they kind of put lash after lash after lash, and you can and when they're doing that, quite often, maybe more often than not, as they put a lash down, they say Lissa's name.
Beautiful. Yep. Absolutely. Perfect. Love that. Okay. So yeah, I'll make a note of that. So you've got 4. Does anyone else want to go next in terms of their vice or
Yes,
the downtime
'cause
activity?
I've also got 7 stress, so I'm also going to.
All right. Do you want to do your downtime stuff first, or do you want to do your vice? Like, I don't mind either way.
Vice.
Okay. So you pay one coin to alleviate stress, and then roll that d6 to see what we
That was
get.
a 6.
So.
Wasted your vice costs.
Oh my god!
Activity.
You wasted your vice costs a downtime activity, so you'll only have 1 as a result. So frame it up for me in terms of what you are doing with your vice, which I know is food related.
Spending all the money on all the booze and all the food, and maybe just mentioning to people like, I got shot.
Telling anyone that will listen.
Ow!
I got
Ow!
Like, have you ever been shot? I have. Like, let me tell you.
And let
about
me
it.
describe exactly how it feels.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that you do your own little pub crawl, and how you got shot. People ask, and you make up a tale
Different every
which
time. Yeah.
gets bigger and different, and it's like, it was a white elephant. Oh, and then a little fire thing came out of the Duskvol void sea and grabbed me, and I
I
and so,
bravely, definitely. It was very brave. The point is, I was very brave.
Yeah, you have.
So
I mean, to be fair, because you are so witty and charming and stuff. Like, people are hanging on your every word. Like, you've got lots of young ladies
Buying
who are
me
like,
extra food and drink.
oh, they're like, oh, of course, a bit more dim sum, and then maybe you go to a pastry
Always.
parlor and there's lots of like cream horns and all that sort of thing. So when it says wasted, I think, like, again, it's mixture alcohol, but I just think it's that sugar
Wasted.
high.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
You're like-
booze high. I'm all the wasteds.
Yeah, it's like blah. Brilliant.
Either that, you
Okay.
eat too much and make yourself sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not
So you
good-
feel
it's
a bit
not
like
good end of the
taken out
night.
as a result. And then your other downtime activity. What are you thinking?
Can I use my XP to add a dot somewhere?
A train, of course, absolutely. What are you thinking in terms of training? Like, what's the one you'd like to add a dot to?
I'll have to think about it and get back to you.
Okay. Tell you what, we can whatever it
Offline.
is. Let me know offline. But then we can make it into the sort of the opening credits / the monologue next week, so you have a chance to like show us what it is. I like that though. Yeah, you're right. I need to do some learning. I've done some sneaky stuff, but now I need to be a learned man as a result. Perfect. To either Holly or Emily, do you want to talk about vices or downtime activities?
I can go. Downtime activities. I'd like to do one training, and I'd like to go to Moorland Hall, and go to some more classes on the spirit world and get an extra dot in a tune. If I can go up to 3 in a tune.
You probably can't because of
okay.
the trainer thing. Yes, unfortunately that is the
so-
case. What I would say, because I like this idea, I think with all your stuff that you've had recently, this is maybe an acquire thing. Unless you want to use your XP to get a dot somewhere else. I think the acquire stuff means that you could have the surface of like this knowledge and stuff like that, which you can use in future as a result. So maybe you're getting this knowledge and stuff like because
dice for something.
that's fair.
Can I only get it in ones that I've only got 1 in or 0 in?
So, ideally, yes.
Yeah,
again,
fine.
I'm not trying to keep it as simple as possible.
No,
We've
that's
got
fine.
that rank 3 instructor is what we did last time. But yes, you need a.
Yes, of course. Sorry.
Also, Fiona, do we only have a trainer in resolve-based skills
to go
right?
up to level 3.
Oh,
yes.
Attune is resolve.
It is,
sorry,
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? Then
Yeah.
my mistake. Then apologies.
So I can have
So
Attune.
yeah,
All right.
you can. Sorry, it's because I thought Attune was something else. My bad.
But I will go to my trainer rather than Moorland Hall.
I mean, you can frame it up to whatever. Yeah, the trainer could be like, "Sure, I can recommend you someone." Like,
Oh,
again,
great.
we'll make it
Yeah.
simple as possible.
I just-
Let's keep it as simple as possible.
Great.
So what is it? Is it like private lessons that you had?
I
with
think
individual?
so.
Like,
I think I go to the professor at Moorland Hall who helped me with the candle. And I sort of speak to them about what I've learnt, and they teach me about the runes that they carved in for me, so that I've sort of got more of an understanding of them and how they relate to basically how these particular demonic runes relate to the spirit field and like accessing it. And it allows me to have like a better insight into how that all links together. And I think as it happens, you see the cracks just sort of seem to get even deeper into her skin as she like looks further into this extra world. So that's one. And then for my other one, it's all very similar themes, including the vice. But I'd like to do another fill another segment of my clock on being able to remove the spirit from a person's body.
Let me look at my notes. I think you're quite close to finishing it, aren't you?
I've only got 4 filled in.
Sorry, it's the doctor's one. I know there's
Yeah,
2
mine's-
similar ones which are to do with Spark. Yes,
Yeah.
you got 4, 8.
This will be 5.
Yeah, so if you'd like to, so if you'd like to fill another one,
I would.
set it up for me.
And I will. I think this time, thinking about what Cuff said about how Cuff wants to remove their spirit. The doll is not willing to do that on Cuff, but she will wander down some sort of back alleys in the city, and I think she probably finds someone sleeping rough. And she just places a candle next to them and sort of strokes their hair as they're sleeping and says, "I promise it's going to get better." And then the candle lights as it starts to like and she tries to draw their spirit. Whether it works or not, I'm not sure, because she's never drawn it from a living body before. And that's kind of the final thing that she's trying to do. But she's for the first time, she's experimenting on an actual person.
Perfect. We'll leave the success and failure to that off screen. Again, I like the idea that you do it and the camera just cuts away that you're starting this process. So, and yeah, we don't need to discuss the individuals sort of like what their fate is, because we don't really, unfortunately, they're not important to the story. But yeah, I think that's really cool. I love that.
And then for my vice, which is also kind of related,
That's all good.
I have 5 stress because we had that food, otherwise I would have had 6 as well. So thank you for going food shopping.
Dim sum.
Yep, dim sum fixes everything. The doll will write up a lot of notes, including a lot of scribbles of these runes drawn into things. And this time she will go herself. She will not use one of her pigeons, but she will go to the police station and walk through the door and just sort of lean over and say, I'd like to speak to, and it will be the name of a black coat, whose name I do not have. And you'll just see her go into an office and come out later without the papers.
Perfect. Good to know. Cuff.
Yeah. Well, that's worrying. Do I still have 2 downtime actions left?
Yes, because basically what I'm saying is that the doctor has used their downtime actions to give you a heal, both for yourself and for Ware. So you can use one or both of them to heal yourself and
to
clear
heal fully.
off that heal. Yep. Or I know you've got another project. Or you could start something, or you could acquire something. It is up to you.
I think I'm going to. I've got 4 things of a clock filled in. I've only got 2 left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna. I think this is a lot for Cuff, though. It was a tough week, physically and mentally, and I think she's so grateful to, especially the doc, and she feels like she might be going towards a better future. That I think she's going to spend her time healing and fill in the whole thing of the clock and get rid of her wound.
And fair enough. Yeah, using both so yeah, you basically take bed rest. And you sort of sit there, and maybe it's a little bit jittery because you worry about stuff. You're thinking about, Marlene. You're thinking about all the things outside, and you can't help because obviously you're sharing. Maybe you've got your own quarters and stuff like that, but every time you need to go get your bandage reset or something like that, you do come into the doctor's lab, and unfortunately, the person who's still there is Lydra, who you punched in the face, and who hasn't moved much. Again, sleeping off and is clearly quite keeping herself to herself. Doesn't get you in the eye or anything like that. So it's a bit of a dour one per se, but after a week or so, it is healing nicely because you are not moving and you're not doing anything physical activity. That said, you do have a vice, and I know your vicing is punching people. I'm happy, if you've got something akin to that or similar, I will let you have it. I'm not going to be like, well, it's not fighting.
My vice, my vice is being punched so that I can get out of my own head.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's an emotional version of that I can do by making myself see the damage I've done to Lydra, which hurts me so much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that.
Absolutely. I guess that is fair. I think for just pay 1 coin, reduce your stress all the way.
To Lydra. Just like, here you go, Lydra.
I'm going to say maybe you set up the scene with Lydra is that maybe one day it's a little bit too much and you go and speak to her. You sit by her side and she looks at you. Her eyes this whole time have been complete, sort of void, and she blinks and moves and stuff like that, but again, her head is bandaged up and it is rebandaged every some time, and there's nothing scary about it or anything like that from the doctor's point of view. It seems to be healing as well as it can, but she doesn't say anything to you. She stopped crying and all that sort of stuff. Like, she sort of looks a little bit more like herself or coming back to herself. And whether you say anything to her or not, or you apologize or anything, I guess you pay penance. Maybe you read her a book or something. I don't know, or help her with her food, and just try to make amends and atone for it. And it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. But yeah, you beat yourself up, and maybe you continue to beat yourself up because of what happened. But these things happen, and the weeks passed, and it goes. Okay, that's downtime, and vice is all sorted. Thank you for that. Thanks for being patient on that. Let's do the final scene as always.
Okay, then. Right, no, one sec. I'm just gonna sit comfortably.
One night, there is a knock at the door of the hideout. Quite late at night. Who's going to answer the door? I'm going to say Ware, for reasons, is not going to answer the door. Does anyone want to go and answer the door?
The doll is probably up quite late and sort of isn't really scared of things being spooky. So, yeah, the doll.
So is the doctor, but they're probably on a different floor. So
I'm resting.
Okay,
yeah,
the doll.
It can be you.
I'll go.
go up, and there's a moment where you go to open it, and you're like, it's late at night. I'm not opening the door. So you look through the sort of little peephole or whatever, and on the other side, in sort of that fish eye aspect, you see. Sorry, the cat just jumped up into my lap. That was absolutely terrifying for me. A cat. You see that a figure standing with the light behind them, sort of making them in shadow. Looks like they are pretty broad and pretty tall. They look like they're wearing a coat of some sort, but they're completely in shadow. And they're sort of a little bit ways back, so you can't necessarily make out their features. Is there anything that you do?
They've just knocked on the door nicely.
Mm-hmm.
I won't open the door, but I'll just sort of say, "May I help you?"
There's a moment where the body doesn't move. And you just hear... Sorry, the cat was biting my hand then. I was like, that's not helpful.
I know. Thank you, Alice.
You just hear from this individual a voice that sounds very far away, but also sounds very close at the same time. Almost like a whisper and a shout merged into one. And it just says, I really need to get into the building.
It's not your building. It's our building. Who are you?
I really need to get into the building.
Do we have like a chain on the door so I can like do the thing where you open and like poke your head through?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll do that and poke my head.
Okay. So you open the door slightly, you put your head, face is there, right next to you.
No. Hello. The doll is quite spooky. She's not that scared.
The face itself is almost, it looks like a young man, sort of like waxy pale complexion, eyes quite bright, almost like doll eyes in a sense, like again very plasticky looking, hair sort of tied back a little bit, and yeah, wearing like a trench coat of some sort, and you swear you've seen this face before, but you're trying to work out what it is. I need to get into the building. Let me inside.
Say something else.
Is my name on the list?
No, this isn't a club.
As he's sort of leaning close to you, you do recognize this face as a very clean-shaven, hair pulled back body version of Roderick. As his neck sort of comes in, you can see there's a cut where the stab wound went into the physical body of Roderick.
You know what? Sorry, your name is on the list. Just 2 seconds. We'll let you in imminently.
You'd be so kind.
She shuts the door and just goes and shuts the door and we'll just sort of be like, Harriers, as loud as she can throughout the house, and like just ring a bell and be like ding 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 ding.
And as you're going, oh my god, wake everyone up as this is about to happen. The voice keeps speaking. It'd be so kind if you let me in. Let me inside.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're just getting things ready for you.
My name on the list.
I'm just like sleepy coming up, being like, oh, yeah, it's a bit
Roderick.
late.
It's the body of Roderick.
What?
The body of Roderick is at the door.
Roderick the ghost?
Well, supposedly. Can someone cuff? You're big. You go to the door, and she's like scurrying around getting candles.
I know. So I pull the chain across again and open the door just to see that again. Chain is across.
Yeah.
And the duck is now upstairs, by the way.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I imagine the face is still there.
It's not there. The person is much further away.
Open the door.
Back into their original position.
Are you Roderick? Do you want to come inside?
You're asking a lot of questions.
You wanted to come inside, is what I've heard. So
I want to come inside. If you'd be so kind, could you let me inside?
Maybe. I think you're gonna have to work with us a little bit though for that.
Is it the way that I'm dressed?
I wouldn't say so. It's the way you're talking. Are you Roger? What?
Is this the eyes?
The eyes? Doc, do you want to take a look at this? This is kind of a crazy that I don't really understand. And
that suddenly, in human movement, his face comes up at the door.
Okay, all right. Hello.
You'd be so kind to let me inside and open the door.
The doll is just
That's not Roderick's voice.
putting candles everywhere and just like drawing runes.
I feel like we shouldn't let you inside, to be honest. I feel like you're not invited. Is that right?
So not invited.
I think you might not be invited.
I knew it was something. I'll be back with a new disguise.
Okay.
Where's where?
And this person, inhumanly so, sort of like bends back, full on bends back, and scuttles backwards into the darkness.
Okay.
Thank you for not letting him in.
I'm gonna shut the door.
Really let him in.
Did you see that? He went all the way back. He went all the way back. I can't even do that. I think that was a bad thing. That seemed like a bad thing.
Bad thing. I'm going to learn some protection runes, and it's just trying to find books.
And
Lissa mentioned a stranger.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the things she said before we left her. She said
We should talk to her.
that we would meet a stranger.
Maybe we can find out more from her. What do you think? I know that
Maybe
you
Lydra.
guys... Oh,
Yeah, Lydra sounds like a better idea. I think that Lissa's probably worn out her usefulness.
with the
Alright, yeah.
Harriers being so, I don't know,
Fuck!
excited by a new neighbour, so to speak.
New best
We're
friend.
going to call the session there.
Una's freaking face when that happened.
She knew what she was doing. Normally you just do a little scene and we don't have to be horrified in it.
I thought you'd like
No,
that.
we did like it. I did like it, but it was horrible.
I thought maybe the doors are too much. Maybe you could be on the other side of a door this time.
No!
Scary.
So, thank you guys so much for watching this. I was going to say final episode, episode 4, chapter 4 of Blood and Fog. Thank you guys so much for doing it. We've got 2 more coming up, which is very exciting. Let's throw it to our wonderful guests as we do our outros. And Emily, if you can get the Patreon, I don't have access to it. Perfect. I'm going to hand over to Holly, please. Can you outro yourself? Where can we find you on the interwebs and stuff? Yeah.
I was like, I don't have an outro. I'm Holly, and you can find me on Holly Let's Games on Twitch, which is at Holly Let's Games 13. Pokemon Mondays start again this month, and next Monday, this Saturday, we finish Tears of the Kingdom, and on Monday, I'm going to do a little concert. In fact, you can see, look, there's a little keyboard just there.
Hey.
I'm going to do a little concert of songs with numbers in them, which was submitted by one of my patrons, Funky Mr. Chicken. So don't miss that.
Lou, please. Can you do your outro?
Sorry, I was Shamini's making things up in our Discord.
Yeah, I know. I can see.
She made up her class, now she's making up skills that don't exist. Cool. Yes, hello. Hi, I'm Lou. I'm freaking out. My character's very calm, and Lou's not calm, so it's fun. It's great. But you can find me at I am Lou Fryer on the internet. You can also find me on the podcast of Dice and Them. It's a pure chaos, to be honest. If you like just people just kind of having a go at each other while they play D&D and Blaze in the Dark, and do all kinds of chaotic stuff, then go check that out. It's a bit of fun. Yeah, cool. I like being on the RP Geeks. It's fun.
We like having you.
Thank you. We'd like to have you. Yeah, and yeah, we are 3 members of the RP Geeks. Obviously, one of us is just off screen just now. Myself, Emily, and Shamini, and yeah, we do fun TTRPG stuff. Emily streams, I stream. Shamini does amazing stuff. And is in the Beekeeper's Picnic, a new video game that came out recently.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy it tomorrow.
It's fun.
Yeah, I really want to play it. I was watching Emily play it, and it's made me really want to play it.
I played through the whole thing.
Those point and
and
click
it's great.
games. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah,
Fucking
come check us
beakers,
out.
though,
You
in
know, if you've
first
enjoyed
game.
this, come subscribe on our YouTube, like the stream if you've enjoyed it. It's very important to us in terms of like just getting numbers up and people seeing stuff. So get away, fancy Alice. She's now in the middle of like ruining all my decks of cards. So yeah, come check out. We've also got the podcast as well. We're going to be putting up Blades in the Dark after the series has finished, so it's going to be up in its entirety there. And yeah, we did Blood on the Clock Tower as well, which we were talking about at the beginning of this episode, which is all good fun as well.
It's really fun.
Emily, I think, do correct me if I'm wrong, we have a new patron, do we not?
We do have a new patron. We have one new one. So you can follow us on Patreon if you'd like to be added into our worlds. If you subscribe at any paid tier, you are eligible to be added into the worlds. You get other benefits at other tiers, so do go check them out. And it's at RP Geeks D&D on Patreon, which is the same as all of our social channels at RP Geeks D&D. And our new patron, who we will put in immediately because it's their first time. And if we only ever get like one a week, if we get one new one each week, we'll put you in. Basically, if we get lots of you there, we can't promise it. But this week we have Simon Harper. So we get to add in Simon Harper. So who do we think Simon Harper is in the world of Blades?
Is Simon Harper somebody who tried to check our tickets as we were leaving the train station? We were like,
he's
oh no, Simon.
train conductor.
No, we're just here for coffee.
Yeah,
we're on
we
our
were just
way."
going to the Pret. So I love that. He's really good at his
Pumpkin
job.
Cafe.
Really good at his job.
Yeah, really diligent.
Very diligent, and it's very annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, a platform person
Not good
at
for
the Gallop
scoundrels.
Station. Absolutely.
Yeah, but
Yes.
really thank you for subscribing on Patreon. We really do appreciate it. It allows us to bring in incredible guests like these lovely two. But then we also have other patrons, and we do 2 a week. So would someone roll me a d12?
I can do that.
Yeah, go for it.
As a 9.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's Nicholas Monroe Turner.
Ooh.
He's already in the world.
Well,
We stole
he's
his
in again. The
gnomes.
dice said so.
Yeah.
So not only has he had gnomes stolen,
Oh, yes, the gnome.
and
It's the
garden
same-
furniture.
It could be the same guy who's had
Can
a
we just-
bad month.
Yeah, can we just
Yeah.
extrapolate from it? So he's still him, but what else has happened to him? Did he go
Maybe-
to the doctor? No, that feels like
No,
that feels
lighter,
like
lighter,
feels like
lighter,
we have to have
lighter,
consent
lighter.
for that.
No,
yeah.
I think I just think it's funny that he has things stolen off him. I think maybe he orders a takeout delivery and where intercepts it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Oh, he was looking
and-
forward to so much dim sum.
Dim sum
He
stolen.
thought, "Do you know what? It's been a hard day at work.
Can
I
have
really
some
fancy
lovely
some
dim
dim sum.
sum."
I don't want to cook."
Yeah, I just want
and
to feel
then,
better. My gnomes got stolen
yeah.
earlier a couple of months ago.
You know what will really
I
cheer me
deserve
up?
this
Some
dim sum.
sum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone just
Incredible.
swept in and
And then
stole
Wes
it.
like,
Miss
"Oh, someone
Julia
left us
Smith.
free dim sum."
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
poor thing.
brutal. Yeah, and of course they would have footed the bill as well. There's no way Ware paid a little bit, but wouldn't have paid for all of it, I don't think. So, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Maybe it never even left the restaurant. It was just kind of put on the counter, ready for the delivery person to take it. And Wes was like, "Oh, that must be mine."
Yeah,
Here comes Shamini, us having implicated her in a theft.
Yeah, we've implicated. She'll be fine with it. We've implicated you in a theft, Shami. Don't worry about it. And that's all we've got time for this week. So we're going to wrap it up. That is everything, I believe.
Yes.
And so thank you all so much for watching. We will be back here next week. That's Tuesday, 15th of April, for Chapter 5 of Blood and Fog, a Blades in the Dark story. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you then. Bye.
I think he's taking bodies. I think he's inhabiting dead bodies.
God knows, I'm scared. Bye.
Dead bodies.